Hello, this is Xander, co-host of Two Bros, One Film. Before we get into this episode, I wanted to express my sincere apologies for the audio quality of our shows recently, or all of them so far. The sound has been less than desirable so far due to my lack of knowledge and proper equipment. I've been learning, however, it seems as soon as I fix one issue, another appears. I have upgraded our equipment a bit from spare mics I had laying around and putting what I've learned editing with Reaper to use. Even with these improvements, the episode you're about to hear starts off sounding strong, but I accidentally lost a chunk of the recording in the middle somewhere, and that somehow affected other portions of the recording. I think I've figured out the problem, and I'm hoping this will be the last episode with audio issues. Thank you for sticking with us this far. Know I'm working diligently to provide a good quality audio production, and I'm sorry it's taken so long. So with that addressed, on behalf of Two Bros, One Film, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. Two Bros, One Film, your new favorite place for comedic commentary and brotherly banter on the films you love. Thank you for joining your host, my little brother William, and myself, Xander, as we dive deep into another movie each week. This week we're covering
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. So, before we get into that, how's your week been?
Worked the election. Did not make a bunch of that's what she said jokes with a bunch of elderly women who also worked the election. And that's about it. Just been editing videos, streaming.
Was it chaos at the election?
It was pretty busy. I think we got about 600 people, which we were doing the country area around a small town near the small town I live in. So that's pretty good turnout.
Oh, well, that's good. Anything new this week at all? Anything else?
We had our video game Olympics, as we have throughout the years.
I saw the aftermath pictures. This looked like the last one I went to. Everyone passed out on the floor.
Yeah, good times. I wasn't one of the ones passed out on the floor this time. You know, I knew to stop at a certain point. So
that's good.
Some type of maturity, yeah.
Self-control is always a good thing to have.
So it was fun just seeing them, living in ruins, and then I was fine.
Well, that's good. Good. My end, I got a new kitten. It's a little hyperactive little turd, but very cute little thing. Get off my shoes. Eating my shoes right now. Trying to. just a bouncy little thing. Haven't decided a name for her yet, because I'm not sure if it is a her, but I'm pretty sure it's a her. So I'm hoping to find a name from Star Trek, one of the females in that. Maybe Kira. We'll see. Also, I guess since this recording, I've been sober for 2 weeks now, so that's like 15 days. So that's new.
Huge accomplishment. I'm very proud.
Yeah, it's a kind of a big deal-ish. But getting through it, doing well now. The first week or so was pretty rough, but this last week's been a lot better. And I'm getting to reap the benefits of kind of going sober, so it's good. Refound my love for coffee. Really getting down on that. Well, I have a new little segment here for like show updates. So, how do you feel about the last episode we did? So it's been 2 weeks since we did an episode.
Full Metal Jacket. I apologize in advance. Well, I guess not in advance. I apologize for retrospectively,
the quality of that episode. I've been doing a lot of trial and error, trying to get this right the first time on everything, but I thought I was a little more capable with Reaper audio, the system I'm using, but I'm getting better, and it's going to start sounding better. We got 2 microphones today, and this should greatly improve our quality. Got a table, so we're sitting next to the microphones. I'm not going to sit here and vape into the microphone. It should be a lot better quality, and I'm sorry for all the other problems we've had so far. Learning. My bad. How did you feel about last week's show, though?
Yeah, no, I think it was a good show. Audio aside, I think it was a good conversation, and my highest rated movie so far. So I think it, on that side of things, I think it was really well done.
Yeah, to be totally honest, I haven't finished. I haven't even really begun to edit it yet, but I'll get it done this week. I just can't wait for that, where we kind of role play. Yeah, we just role play a scene, I think. Or I don't know. A dialogue between 2 of the characters, and it's awesome, and I can't wait for getting into that and editing it up and making it sound nice. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Because I remember we did like 3 takes for that last one. You fucking nailed it, and it's gonna be really sweet. Other than that, can't remember how much I talked, but I know at least from episode 4, I talked way too damn much. I need to shut the hell up. So even right now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Well, no, you're fine now. It's just whenever I try to say something.
I know, I just pretty much overtalked you. I'm truly sorry. I feel real bad about that. So
no need to write in. No need to write in and guilt trip Xander.
You can already do it. But you're not going to make me feel any guiltier or worse than I already do. Because I feel pretty bad about it, but we're going to...
I still got a lot of my points in, though.
Yeah.
I just had to fight a lot harder for...
I feel bad. So I'm going to be more conscious of that and do better going forward. So, anything else about last week's episode?
I think go listen to it, Are we going to talk about the Spotify comments we've got?
View counts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I would really appreciate if you guys review us on Spotify if you have a second. We are currently sitting at 5 stars after 7 reviews. Of course, be honest, let us know if we screw something up or it's bad. The YouTube channel, about 140 views, so that's fun.
Nice.
Seeing the little growth there. And I know we have about 58 downloads, but about 10 of those about 10% of those are from outside the country. So like Ireland, the UK, the Czech Republic.
Out there, yeah.
So, that's just very cool and awesome, you know what I mean? And we're still very appreciative of the small fan base we're slowly but surely building up, It'll be fun then hopefully 2 years from now or a year from now we'll be laughing at these numbers.
Yeah, I hope so. I dream big things. I believe in us.
And I'll just read the 2 comments we have on the Matrix episode. We will try to read 2 comments.
Yes.
William Happy Hour, Angry Cornflake 5 from my Twitch streams. Thank you for listening. And he said, love the pod. Very strong start. I recommend A Muppet's Christmas Carol.
I can't wait. I'm totally in for. My favorite Christmas. Yeah, confirmed. We're doing it
this year. Got you, man. We're doing it this year.
We're doing it for this Christmas episode. Yeah.
Can you use the facts you sent to us on the 2 Bros 1 Film Gmail? So I really appreciate that. And anybody can write in there.
Oh, please do.
Comments, concerns, what you thought about the movie.
To go through different emails, and I'll take criticisms, positive, negative, whatever. Send in anything.
Yeah, anything. I can't wait for that side of the thing. You know what I mean? Like you were right on the signs, or you were wrong on Joker, and all that stuff is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, just hearing somebody else give their opinion on what we're thinking, and it's going to be fun. Yeah, I can't wait.
And then Jonathan said, dope podcast, great insight and commentary. I'm going to suggest my favorite movie, The Truman Show. And for you, The Truman Show will be the next movie.
Gotcha, Becker. Thanks, bro.
So, hey, we'll really try to, if you guys throw a movie out there, we'll try to get to it as soon as possible.
Yep. We need ideas. We've just kind of been choosing our own at the end of the shows, but we take suggestions right now until it blows up and we have to orchestrate it out a little more. But please send us your suggestions. What do you want us to cover? We'll do our best to make it a great show.
I think that's it for now. 2 Bros 1 Film updates, community updates. Yeah, how about that?
I didn't put a specific term behind this little segment, but I like it. Yeah. Ready for the quick overview? Oh, I didn't even do a 6-sentence synopsis.
Oh, I got mine. I got mine this time.
I didn't do that. I better think of one quick while we're doing this. So, quick overview of Shaun of the Dead. It was released in the U.S. on September 24, 2004. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 39 minutes long. It's a dark comedy, zombie horror parody. Just a mix of a lot of everything awesome. It's directed by Edgar Wright, produced by Nira Park, written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. Stars Simon Pegg as Sean, Kate Ashfield as Liz, Nick Frost as Ed, Lucy Davis as Diane, Dylan Moran as David, and Peter Serafinowicz as Pete. I hope I nailed that because I feel like I got that pretty good. Had a budget of $6 million and had a box office take of 38.7 million worldwide.
Oh, that's pretty successful.
Yeah. I didn't have the nominations. You got the nominations?
5 or 6, right? Someone.
I think I had like 14 nominations and only 1.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the math, like the denominator of like how many.
What's your 6-sentence synopsis?
Zombies with a side of fish and chips. Shaun of the Dead gets dumped. Ed sells weed. The world burns and no one sees. Winchester, a rifle, and a bar. It's an amazing movie. Big Al says so.
That was 6 sentences?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like trying to rhyme in there too. It's like, again, like deaf poetry or something?
Yeah, some weird deaf poetry. I was thinking that. Like, it sounds like some weird deaf poetry or something.
Alright, I'm just trying to fire these off like just finger markings here. Shaun sucks at life. Has a great friend though. Loses his girlfriend. Zombie apocalypse happens. He redeems himself. They somehow survive it. That's it. That's all I got. This is off the top of the head. And that's the best I got for this one. I'll try to do better next time and be more prepared. It's just time flew. And you were like fucking around with your phone off, so I couldn't get that info. So blaming myself because I should have done it last night, but I should have just, I was thinking about, like, I was thought about messaging you last night to get the faster. I'm like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And I didn't. I should have always do now what you should do, what you think you should do tomorrow. I don't know the expression. I'm fucking not even doing it. Alright, well. Is there anything else you want to hit before we jump into this?
No.
Analysis and commentary?
I'm very excited. I love this movie. I think this movie is incredibly smart, and I think it's smart in a different type of way than typically we worship a movie. I think it does something what I think more movies should do, to be honest with you.
What is that?
Well, to me, the movie, what makes this one so special is, like, we watch something like The Prestige. The first time you watch it and the second time you watch it are totally different, right? Because the big secret of The Prestige and whatnot. So it's like looking at a painting and turning it upside down. What I think Shaun of the Dead does well is it doesn't do the big flip what we usually give movies credit for. It's just that you notice more things in the painting the more times you rewatch it.
Yeah, like, that's what I was thinking. Even in my short watch series, I thought I noticed. Yeah, you notice things as you're watching each time. Like, different things stand out you missed before.
And I think that's an incredible accomplishment for a movie I've watched probably 6, 7, maybe even 9 times. I've watched this movie a lot. Really? It's a great high movie, allegedly, theoretically. But
it's 2024. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but anyhow, so it's like it's incredible that I can still realize new things in this movie 9 times in, 10 times in, and I think that just shows the attention to detail. And again, I think it's just like almost, there's a famous saying or whatever that every frame is a painting. And I feel like Edgar Wright is one of those people that it really does mean that.
Do you know anything else Edgar Wright's done?
He's done Hot Fuzz.
He did that.
Yep.
Like, that's a perfect movie.
Yeah, no. That movie, I like.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, yeah.
I give it 15 out of 10.
Genius, yeah.
Like, it's God tier movie.
Baby Driver. Scott Pilgrim.
That's an excellent fucking movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. It wasn't really for me, and I should have been the target audience for that. I didn't really just vibe with it. I don't know what it is about it. And then the last one he made was about, I think we might have watched this once. It was about this British girl. I forgot, the name is lacking, but this British girl time travels, goes back in time, and she...
Oh, no, I watched it with Madeline, no. That was like the last movie we watched together. Wait, you said British girl time travels?
Yeah. Like through another body, though.
Okay, maybe I didn't watch that one.
It's all right. I didn't love it as much as Baby Driver or Hot Fuzz. Baby Driver's really good.
I'm not into, like, big action movies so much anymore and all that stuff. And I want more cerebral, or kind of comedic stuff, if anything. I try to find a good horror, but that's almost impossible these days unless it's Ari Aster. But
Baby Driver.
But Baby Driver was a damn good flick, I thought. It just had, the right amount of action, and I quite enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah, and the acting is superb.
I thought
the soundtrack is amazing.
Soundtrack's great. Very great.
Tension, it's got it all.
Effects or stunts are really awesome. Yeah, good time. But we'll put that one on the list here soon, because
yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
Right on, let's get into it. Okay, first scene. It's last call at the bar called the Winchester, and Shaun is talking with Liz, and she's wanting to spend more time with him alone. But he lives with his best friend, and he spends more time with him than with her, and he's a bit rough around, and his friend Ed is a bit rough around the edges, and doesn't really get along with her friends, David and Diane, who seem kind of meh, lame, no fun. And she wants more from their relationship. They spent their last anniversary at the bar, and she hasn't yet... Okay, they spent their last anniversary at the bar that they're at, and it's almost their anniversary coming up. Like,
No, it already passed because they didn't do anything special for it. Yeah.
So it's terrible. So they spent the last anniversary at the bar. They didn't do anything special this time either. They're hung out at the bar, so it's just, not great. And she hasn't yet to meet her mother, which is
wild.
You find out here a little bit, like, they've been together quite some time, and still hasn't met the mom. It's kind of strange.
And Ed says, "I love his mom."
He's like, it's all about his mom, Barbara. And we'll hear more about that going along.
And then just another thing is just, this is so brilliantly set up. This would have just been a conversation, if it was a drama or any other director or whatnot. But the fact that he says Ed, and Ed's just to the left or whatever, and then he said, and he talks, and Ed can chime in about them talking about Ed. It's just so brilliant how it's set up.
Yeah, it's like they're talking about him while he's right there.
It's like, oh, no, I don't mind.
He's like, whatever. And they set up a whole lot of things that they do so well in their other movies that you'll see come, usually everything's very specific and significant in their movies. The Simon Pegg and I guess what's his name?
Nick Frost.
Right?
Nick Frost, Edgar Wright, yeah.
Yeah, they all participate in, and so a lot of the things you'll see throughout the movie, like the Winchester above the bar and certain little aspects of conversation, all comes back into play at some point. It's magnificently brilliant.
And to me, this another thing what they do with this is that Ed sometimes, like, in the little time we have of this concept, Ed says, like, fuck, which they're totally implying with the actual conversation, and Ed fills it in. And like, to me, it's like a almost like a two-way way of looking at it. In the sense, here, let me back up. It's kind of like, how do we make this conversation more interesting? Let's put Ed and Diane and Daph's, on the other side. So that's one way to make it more interesting. And it's like, well, how can we make it even more? And that's what this movie is really good at to me, is it takes, boring conversation, elevates it by putting the friends to the side, and then it adds that extra thing of having them speak or say what the characters are actually thinking.
Yes, with his dialogue, interacting with their dialogue.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's just so smart. And again, like when I did my little 6-sentence thing, I talked about how the Winchester is the name of the pub and it's a rifle. And to me, that's what this movie's really good at. This conversation is doing 3 things at once, and that's like, to me, what makes it so special.
It's kind of like interweaving almost 3 different kind of lines going on. You have the zombie apocalypse, the relationship between him and his girlfriend, and the relationship between
Philip,
him and his mom and Philip. Yeah, so those kind of 3 relationships, they always go interweaving now, and also kind of with, Liz kind of gets grouped up with her friends as well, so you got those 2 other characters in there too, but it's kind of his relationship with all these different people is kind of how it's all broke down. That's what kind of 5 times in the last sentence, and I can't stand it.
And another thing too, like later on, in this movie and whatnot, it like everything is used like twice. It's like, and it's like it has 2 meanings, yeah.
It has.
And there's just no one no, like even out of the cast we get with Daphs and, oh my God, what's her name? That David?
David and Diane?
Diane, yeah, Diane. It's like you would think, oh, they're just one-note characters. They're going to be the little... But Diane teaches them how to act like zombies.
Yeah,
they each have like a little role.
I didn't call her an out-of-work actress.
And, yeah, well, we'll get into that one.
Yeah.
Because I do have something to say that. But, and I think, again, that's just what makes this movie so special, is that everything has double meaning. You know what I mean? To me, there's like, I call it, there's 2 types of things. What I'm going to do, like I guess I define them now, is like a physical thing that comes back is a boomerang. You just throw it, it comes back. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty good. And then when a scene mirrors another scene, I'm gonna call it mirror. Because I figured.
Scene where they're talking in the mirror and it's
yeah. That's what I think. That's where I got the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so where were we? So she doesn't want to spend another anniversary. She wants more out of the relationship. Him and was more in a relationship, trying to get him to. She's trying to get Shaun to kind of push and out of his life a little bit, make more room for them, and so they can go do stuff together and go on holidays and things. He promises her that things will change and that he will start tomorrow, and that he'll book a place. He'll book a table at the favorite fish place, I think she said.
The place with plenty of fish or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is very funny because if you pause the movie during the phone book section, it's the place what does the fish.
Is that
whatever he says, yeah. It's literally the name of the restaurant.
I didn't pause it in time because I was out to see Russian through this, but damn, yeah, I see again, everything just lines up in this fucking movie. I love it.
It's like a small detail. No one will ever notice that once you pause it.
You watch it over a few times, you kind of notice it or pause it, yeah.
And I say that always makes like a good game developer is that you have to make really cool things, but you intend that most people won't see. Because the people who do see it will be like, holy crap, that was awesome when I went to that other path or Easter egg. Yeah.
When you just find some of that random shit or some NPC out in the middle of fucking nowhere that nobody else has really found yet. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's like doing that for a movie is really cool, and that's how you do it. You just have this again, nobody's really going to notice that watching this movie in the movie theater or just casually watching it. You have to pause it. Like, you have to be a dweeb like I am.
Or just watch it so many times that when you glance over, you're like, what does that say? You kind of notice it now. And so I do that with watching Star Trek, obviously, over and over. That I catch new things every time I watch them, episode usually, because I've seen it so many times. You catch it at a different angle or something. But yeah, they do a lot in this movie, and it does really well. So it goes to the opening credits after that, and like just quick little opening credits song and.
Very fun because it's like showing people being zombies in their everyday life.
I was like, is this more to your liking for an intro?
Oh, yeah, no, this is great. This is what the signs oh my god, so much better. This asked me, I even have a question about this. So, do you think we're more zombies now than they were, back in the day? Because, sure, they make fun of everybody looking down on their cell phone in this little part. Everybody looks down.
Yeah.
But everybody's looking at different stuff. Everybody's, on an app or listening to music or whatever.
Still,
but compare that to the past where everybody's reading the same goddamn newspaper. That's much more zombie-like. I would argue they're more zombies than what we are, because at least we're all doing our own little
but there's also
newspaper.
A amount of content. They can't just stare and scroll the newspaper and just have endless amounts of content.
Yeah, but it's all different, though. So that's still less zombie-like than, because everybody's doing their own little thing.
I can see that.
Yeah. I was just wondering, are we more zombies or less zombies? I think we're less zombies, because we're all looking at our own little sphere of the world rather than the same
preference of content and interests and things. We had a much smaller basket to pick from, I guess, back in the day.
Yeah. It's not their fault. It's just they grew up in the...
Again, it could be thick, so we just didn't have any other outlets to give opposing viewpoints on many things. So, I don't know. I'm going to determine on that one. I can't... I have to look into that more to have a definitive answer, but I think it would be... I think it could be less zombie now. So.
And it's funny, too, to think about the others. The other one was, all of them scanning the groceries and whatnot. And you could do that in pretty much any decades. That one really doesn't apply to the... You know what I mean?
Get down! What are you doing?
Is he behind the blinds?
Yes.
Badass. That's kind of badass, honestly. That's insane. Spider-Man over there, dude.
It weighs 4 ounces. Get your chunky little self off of it. You're gonna fuck him up on it. You're gonna fuck it up. Why you do this to me? When it's summertime, let's go and get bugs and we're already eating up if you go closer. Okay? There's other things to climb. Go. Here. Yeah. There you go.
I was like, that's impressive. That's wild.
Okay. My bad. So.
But see what happens when you actually have an intro section? We get a little conversation on it. There's some juice in those hills.
What do you mean, intro section?
Compared to signs, where signs is just a wall of text and scary music. But we got, with this, at least we got a little conversation on it. It adds to it.
So yeah, fun little intro. Shows Shaun walking down the hall like a zombie, just waking up. He goes to sit on the couch when Ed reminds him that he has to go to work. So he hops right back up on his feet and gets dressed.
But we get that cool fake out. Like, like he makes the zombie sound, and it's his feet. Yeah, like it's a,
like he's a zombie down the hall.
And they mirror that at the end,
They sure do.
Yeah, which is a fun little nod to the opening.
And again, the whole double usage of like everything in the whole movie. But he hops back up, gets dressed, and while he's in the bathroom, his other roommate Pete pops in and informs him that the front door was open again last night.
But even before that, Edgar Wright making every frame of painting. All the little transitions when he's getting ready, the zipper, the toilet flushing, the name tag, the brushing the teeth, washing it, like it zooms in on those. And it's like, you didn't have to go this hard for Shaun getting ready. Like, it could have just been a scene of him in a bathroom doing all those things, but zooming in on it and having like the sound effects with the wish and the one. Yeah. It's just like that just elevates it. Like it shows a lot of care too of like, how do I make flushing a toilet interesting?
It's like almost a mini montage real quick with the music, kind of like a guitar riffing, and he does that also in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
they do that same quick like montage to explain something out. I love that like mini montage of.
But it didn't have to go that hard. You know what I mean? Like he could have just let it be, a normal scene of him getting ready.
Yeah, or kind of a sloppier, less animated montage.
When have you
brush teeth all plainly, you get all dressed and shit? But that was like the way the camera shot it and the music of it. I feel like it was fun.
It's just kind of like, when have I ever talked about a salesman of a TV company or satellite or whatever he does? When have I ever talked
appliances and things? Just like
yeah. But when have I ever talked about that dude's suit up sequence? You know what I mean? I think that just speaks to how cool that scene is and how well it's done.
Benign, awesome.
Yeah. Like how can, again, it's like, to me, the philosophy of this movie is like,
intriguing to watch.
How do we make it better? How do we take this scene and elevate it? And this is how you do it.
Yes. Yeah, I guess that could have just been like a turd of a scene, but he really polished that thing up to something just kind of fun and interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I dig it. Mm-hmm. So, Pete says to Shaun that the front door was left open again last night, and he blames Ed, not Shaun. Says he can't live like this. He needs something more sustainable. They're not in college anymore. Complains that Ed doesn't bring in any money to the house, and Shaun defends him and that Ed sells some weed, a little bit, and admits that he can be fun. Or then he gets Pete to admit that Ed can be fun. Do you have something?
Yeah. The mirror, when he pushes the mirror in, is the same exact way how he discovers he's a zombie later on.
Oh, yeah.
Because they both.
In that thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep an eye on the mirror, that effect, because I tried not to put every little detail in, but this is great,
So, yeah, that's really cool. And then the whole interaction between them about, like, I sold a little weed. Or, no, he's like, you sold a little weed. He's like, yeah, to you in college 5 years ago or whatever. It's just so funny how it's done. Like, Shaun's points are just getting shot down. And then he even, like, has, like, a Trojan horse one where he's like, oh, remember that time we played Tekken 2? And it was so funny, and he was, like, an orangutan or whatever. It's like, yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it's just so funny. Like, it's just so, like,
one time was fun.
5 years ago. Just a drop. It's just so good. It's just so good.
It was very good. And he was just saying, like, it's time he moves on. And because it just needs more out of this. And can't stand a mess. So Shaun goes to talk to Ed in the living room, and Ed's playing a game. And not really listening to the things Shaun's trying to tell him. And he tries to talk to him, but pretty much only throws out helpful hints and pointers while he's playing the game. Then Pete walks in and asks Ed, since he's not working, to clean up around the house and to take all messages, not just his own, that come through on the answering machine, which we already explained to you youngins a while ago, what answering machines were on the Matrix episode. So it's our first one. Go back and listen to that one if you need to know what a answering machine is for a telephone. So, again, Ed's not really listening. He's like, yeah, sure, kind of stuff, And Pete goes to leave for work, but Ed has taped "I am a prick" on little notes on his back. I don't know how he didn't hear all that paper shuffling and the tape, crinkling, but apparently he doesn't hear so good or something. Shaun gives him, shoots Ed a look a little bit. He's like, what? It's kind of funny. And Shaun asks him, hey, can you do those things for Pete? And Ed's like, no, I'm not doing shit for him. Shaun asks, well, you do it for me then? And Shaun just goes and leaves for work. But as he's walking out the door, the answering machine's going off, and it's...
Whoa, before that, I'm sorry, Shaun.
Oh!
Because that's,
yeah. I skipped right over that whole sentence.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the fart, I love Ed. Ed is my favorite part of this movie. I'm just going to say it now. Ed, I wrote so much.
It's the most infuriating part of the zombie survival aspect.
But he's just so fucking funny, I think. Nick Frost, to me, steals the show. Like Sean's a great lead or whatever, but every time pretty much everything Ed says is so funny.
Roles-ish in Hot Fuzz, and they just both nail their characters beyond to a T, Well, that's a terrible thing. They both nail their characters very well. They play them very well.
To a cricket bat or something. Is that what he has? Yeah. But, yeah, no, just great. Just great. And I'm sorry, Shaun, and how that comes back at the end, their final words to one another. Again, everything's used twice. It's kind of like...
Think about, the used twice. Everything's used twice for everything.
It's like the Native Americans, using every part of the buffalo, but it's using every part of the buffalo twice.
Well,
that kind of, in my head, that makes sense, but I don't know if that pans out.
They can cut it down. They can cut it in half, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can use each part of the buffalo twice because it's going to have 2 legs and 2. I don't know.
There's something there, but I don't think we're there. I don't know. Yeah, no, I respect it.
So Shaun goes to leave for work and looks to him and says, Shaun goes to work and Ed looks to him and says, I'm sorry, Shaun. And Shaun says, it's all right. Ed says, no, I'm sorry, Shaun. And then the stank hits him in the face. They both have a laugh and he leaves. And as he's leaving, he just misses a call from Liz to book the table for 8 p.m. instead of 7 because she's running late or having to work late. Because he's supposed to get that reservation to the fish place. But he walks out and he's going on walk to work, stops at the grocery store.
But while on his walk, he says to that kid playing with the soccer ball, next time I see you, you're dead, or something like that. But, so that's just such a fun little nod to later on when that little kid's a zombie. And then another key little detail we get here is the roommate is in his car. He's driving to work, which comes back later. Mm-hmm. So that was just such a little thing I noticed this time. You know what I mean? Just looking at the background.
So he's heading to work, stops at the local little grocery store, and I love how in Europe and in Canada, a lot of neighborhoods just have a little grocery store within a block or 2 away. It's fucking awesome. In the store, he notices a stack of newspapers showing some strange and alarming headlines, about the zombie apocalypse kind of stuff going on, or the precursors of it. And he just kind of glances at it and notices some strange headlines. I didn't take time to look, but I'm sure there's probably something specific and awesome on each one of them. That's it's brilliant because that's what these people do. It's brilliant work. It shows him on a bus heading to work, and on his way he notices a guy just fall out all twitchy, and that kind of shocks him. We just see some dudes basically fall over, and just kind of catches his attention. He's starting to be aware that shit's going weird. And
I think this is just this is how it would go down. I think Shaun of the Dead, it might be a comedy in a lot of ways and, far-fetched. But this is exactly how it would go down in modern society where, you ignore the news, you're whatever, it's not my problem. And then you start seeing these little signs, but you're too caught up in your daily bullshit to care. And then eventually, it has to, literally be in your backyard for you to give a shit.
I totally agree.
And I'm that's what this movie, that's the most realistic part of this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, because, in other movies, people kind of always jump to it, or there's, some horrifying music to signify that you should be scared and worried, but this is kind of da-da-da-da, and he's just totally oblivious to the shit really actually happening around him. And he's starting to notice here and there, every now and then, but it's a lot more going on that's happening than he actually notices, and this is funny. And so it goes to him, then a pre-shift meeting, informing the staff that it's basically consists of high school and college age turd children. One answers the phone in the middle of the meeting, and he's all sloppily dressed, and he tells him that the other manager's out, and he's all sloppily dressed. Shaun tells the staff that the other manager's out or something, gonna be gone for a little while. I think sick. Was he sick?
Something like that.
I'm guessing it has to be sick, and I'm betting it was, and then it plays into the whole. He's probably turned into a zombie.
But Shaun also throws his pin in this meeting. What I noticed, and I don't understand how his pin works, but that comes up because that's how he gets the red on him.
Throws his pen.
Well, it just flings. He just flings it.
Oh, it flings it out, and that's what damaged it.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah,
I remember him like picking up the pen or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he puts it in his pocket, and that's what causes him to have the red on him.
Okay.
Because I was sitting there like, how did he get the red on him?
Sometimes
Yeah.
pens just bust, I think, but usually maybe it is caused by some problem from hitting the ground or something like that. So, good catch, because I didn't put that one together. So he's gonna be the one taking over since the other manager's out sick. And because he's the senior employee, not the oldest, he had to make that distinction. But I just can't stand how he actually waits for that kid to finish his little conversation on the phone call. That because he get the phone and he actually answered in the middle of his meeting while dude was talking. I would have went off if that happened. And I was the manager. And often a very stern and scary, quiet way, because that's just how I do things. And he talks to the kid, and it's like, "How old are you? 20, 21?" And the kid's like, "I'm 17."
Oh, dude, I feel this because when I worked the election, there was a guy who voted who was born in 2006, and I fucking felt ancient. I'm 27. I felt ancient in that moment.
Yeah, 2006, 18 years ago?
Yeah.
Over 18 years ago?
Yeah.
That's nutty.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I was born a lot longer than that. I'm getting so old. I don't feel old. I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck at 27. I feel young and vibrant-ish. And that's not even young and vibrant. That's old. You're getting old. You're 27, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm going to be 28 next episode for the Truman Show.
But you got the 17th. You got 5 days?
Yeah.
Nice.
Me and Anna are the same age for 4 days, which is weird. It's like an eclipse or something.
Ty and I are the same age for like 6 months.
Oh, that's wild.
8 months, 7 months, something like that. Yeah. 7 months. So he talks to the kid. He's like, "How old are you? 20, 21?" And he's like, "Nah, 17." I just keep scrolling to.
And we get the big thematic of this movie to me is like Shaun getting his life together. Like, that's one of the objectives. And the kid says, Shaun's like, "Well, I'm 29. I still want to do things." And then the kids win.
Yeah, that's very.
And that's what this movie's all about, is Shaun getting his shit together. It reminds me of Signs, where, like, for Shaun, it's him stop fucking around and being a dumbass and not having his shit together.
And repairing relationships with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Even his best friend. And it doesn't really need repaired with his best friend, but it needs worked on because
it's fucking up everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to Signs, where it takes the zombie apocalypse for Shaun to get his shit together. Like
the alien invasion.
For Mel Gibson's character to be a pastor again.
Yeah.
So it's just like a tunnel, a very fun tunnel.
And address the traumas of his family and kids. Yeah.
So it's funny, we always talk about these are like kind of geek movies or whatever, but they're really dramas when you really think about it. They're just dramas with a fun. With a fun frosting on.
Yeah, the sci-fi frosting or a horror, with like a zombie horror frosting, or with a zombie horror frosting, which it does well. So I feel like this time I keep saying that they just do it well. This is just a great movie because it is. So yeah, that win really throws Shaun for a ringer. Kind of, you can see his gears turning on how to reflect about himself. And then that's where the kid points out that his pen is leaking in his pocket. That I guess he flung out of his pocket and he went to go get and had broke the ballpoint on it or something. It goes to show him working. And he's semi-droned out, kind of staring off into space while assisting someone or listening to someone, but not really assisting to someone. And then his stepfather, Philip, shows up.
But on the television, when he's doing that little sales pitch, are the same channels which show up at the very end.
Oh, really?
Like Tyra or whatever that host name is. I'm thinking of Tyra Banks, but it's like some British version of her. And then there's the little like the bouncy house thing. Like, yeah, that's on there. The news is on there. So it's all the same.
Because there's a few different, like, reels if they do one different, like, sequences of channels, you know.
Yeah.
Do it later when they're at home. We'll get to
and again, that's just, you didn't have to put this little fun thing in the background. Like, you would.
It's fucking great of a movie.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for these little extra things to really, you know, make the movie something special like that.
So it's equivalently like you're watching the same exact shows as just earlier episodes, you know, what happened later on. And it's cool because the context of those things change too. Like it goes, like the Tyra show goes from your typical, like, oh, I have 6 baby daddies to...
I can't divorce... I can't leave my zombie husband.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's just like, that's such a cool thing. You know what I mean? And again, it's like, I've always said this for a very long time, that like words don't matter. Really, they don't matter. You can say the most outlandish thing. It's all about the context.
That's very true.
And to me, this is like one of those little examples, like visually, where it's like the context of those Tyra episodes and the little bouncy house are totally different at the very end of this film. And again, that's such a compliment.
Yeah, just how it changes. It's not consistent. It's the same, but it's changed.
And through the actions of the movie, which is cool.
From the events that happen in the movie. Yep, it's fucking...
And again, like we were talking about how we hate it when movies are all in a dream, because it makes it feel like, well, this didn't happen, it doesn't matter. Exactly. And this is the exact opposite of that, where it's like, here's the physical manifestation of what happened in this movie.
Phillips shows up in the shop and is facing away from him out the window, like he's a zombie. You just kind of get the zombie vibe off of him. Then he turns around all weird, like he's supposed to be a zombie, and asks if he remembered the bi-monthly visit to see his mother tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be there. Philip suggests he brings flowers that he forgot to bring the last time.
I was gonna.
He's like, yeah, I was gonna this time. I got it. And he's like, not the cheap flowers from that one shop either. He's like, no, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna get the good ones.
It's kind of fun because I was gonna and I wasn't gonna. Mm-hmm. Like that, you know, it's fun.
And it's clear Philip doesn't really like him that much. It's pretty obvious. Philip leaves, and one of the kids is asking...
Well, Philip is really cool just because it's like his intro is really weird and scaring and off-putting, and it's kind of cool for his like little redemption arc of going from stepdad to dad. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just really cool how they play with us, where they're like, ooh, we should be scared of Philip. And they even talk about killing Philip before he has that redemption arc, so you really don't feel anything for the guy. You know?
Yeah.
And that's a very fun way to do that, play with that.
Again, they have like a small redemption scene there.
Well, yeah, but it's just another of like, he's not a one-note character. You know what I mean? He could have just been the bad dad, but he's the bad dad who has a redemption. Like, and it even makes Shaun cry, and it's touching. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then another fun thing with that whole conversation with the dad, or stepdad, my stepdad, is there's military trucks going on in the background, which is kind of a fun little touch. Like transports.
I missed that. God damn it. That's
so
awesome.
It's like them getting distracted by their mundane bullshit instead of, you know, paying attention to the world around them.
I didn't even notice that. That's fucking awesome. So Philip leaves, and one of the kids is asking, well, he gets to talk to his father. You know, I thought this wasn't a social event sort of thing. And he says it's his stepfather, and he's able to keep his private life and work life separate. As soon as those words leave his lips, the phone gets handed to him, and it's like, for you, it's Liz. He just kind of sitting there like, shit. But the kid doesn't know who Liz is, so he just is really short with his responses to Liz, and she's just double checking that he got the message that she, you know, needs to book at 8 instead of 7. He, you know, hangs up. And he was just like, oh, that was just Liz from the front office, you know, to the kid.
I have something to say here. I think I call this time gate. All right, and this is just me turning into an insane person.
What's time gate? What do you mean?
Where I wish this scene this conversation never happened. The scene could keep it exactly the same as it is, but instead of because what happens for me is she tells Shaun to change the time. I think it would have been a lot cooler if Shaun goes back to the flat and reads the message back, but he doesn't mention the time. So then Shaun goes to make the appointment, the arrangements, but he still has the old time. Because it's like Shaun's always a day late and $1 short.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been way more like Ed fucked you over, you know?
Yeah,
then,
I was thinking Ed was going to fuck him over, but almost he kind of fucked over himself. It was,
Yeah,
was going off as he was walking out the fucking door. So he could have just stopped and said that. And then he got a double fucking chance. She called right now to make sure, but he was just trying to play off that it was Liz from front office and not his girlfriend, in front of that kid. And it's just, he just fucked up twice.
And then it's like, somebody might ask if you still want to do the bit with the kid and having someone call right away. My pitch is the mom, because she would be calling about tomorrow, and you would be like, yeah, no, Philip was just here. Yeah, okay,
you're right. That'd have been a lot better. And it could have done the same.
Yeah, without giving, and then again, it would just make Ed look shittier. Like, there's all sorts of times where Ed fucks up in this movie, and I try to write it down. But it really doesn't count on the message, because he already got the message. So, Ed doesn't really... It doesn't matter if Ed fucks up on that one. It's no point for either goal,
Yeah, I dig it. Ed really does make me grind your teeth a little bit, like grit your teeth. And then it goes to Shaun in the flower shop, getting the flowers for his mom. He sees some guy panically running past the shop that grabs his attention. And he's just kind of like, what the fuck's going on there? And he has to make a choice between a wonderful mom or pow, super mom. What would you choose?
Okay, Pal Super Mom.
Or to a wonderful mom.
Well, our mom's dead, so we don't have to worry about this. But, I'm trying to think. I think Pal. I think I would go with I think that one's more fun. I think our mom's not boring like that.
Yeah, to a wonderful mom, we wouldn't go for that. I'll call her a super mom.
Yeah.
And he chooses the first, to a wonderful mom, the lame one. We did chose cooler ones.
Yeah.
And as he's bending over to fill it out, or fill something out, the camera focuses on the guy in the park across the street, grabbing at a pigeon and eating it. You're still not 100% sure. It's not, we know it's zombies, but, it just kind of looks like some guy on Flocka or something like that, trying to eat a pigeon. Then as the bus passes, the hungry mystery man disappears behind it, and he kind of looks around and kind of gives it up. And then it shows him on a bus now with the flowers, and everyone's coughing around him. It shows him getting off the bus, and all you can hear is the coughing, and you can still hear the coughing as he's getting off the bus behind him. Like, it's a lot of coughing. And as he's looking all strange, and you can see the bus driver as he's getting off, and the bus driver's kind of leaning up with his hand with his head on his hand, just like he's been waiting for a while. And I'm guessing that's why Shaun eventually just got off the bus, because they've been sitting there waiting so long. And you see as he's walking up the street on the sidewalk that there's a bunch of cars ahead of him, and you can hear this horn blaring the whole time. As he's walking along, you see that there's someone either passed out or dead leaning on their horn, like in the front of the line of all the cars. And he's looking in there, and he's like, what the fuck? And this is where he bumps into
Yvonne,
which I always thought was a beautiful name.
Yvonne's a weird person for me in this movie, because it kind of feels love interesty.
It's definitely love interesty,
and they never go anywhere with it though. So it puts Liz in a weird spot for me, where I'm like, I feel like they really. But she has a boyfriend. We find out, Declan, when they meet back
Declan.
up. Yeah,
who's that other British comedian?
He's Bilbo. He's Bilbo Baggins too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's big. He's kind of the one dude from their team, who blew up. But yeah,
I feel like Simon Pegg.
Well, no, but I'm talking about the alternative team.
Snow.
I'm talking about the B team.
Oh, okay.
Out of all those actors, he's the only one I don't recognize. Even Yvonne, I've never seen her in anything else.
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, so he's like the one guy out of the B team. What?
I'm sure if we watch more British television, we'd probably.
I'm sure. Yeah, you Brits will yell at us right now.
Yeah, we do have a few listeners. Thank you.
Yeah, Will Jones, Angry Cornflake. But yeah, no, it's just with her, it's just she feels very weird. She kind of feels like almost an unnecessary part of this film in a weird way.
She does come back twice.
And she says in the very first scene, "I'm glad someone made it," when he talks about them having their 3-year anniversary and going out to dinner and whatnot. And she says that at the very end of the film.
And then also they said that she survived, and she's like, how you been, whatever, I'm surviving.
Yeah.
And so when they bump into each other again, he's like, how you doing? And they're all bloody and stuff, like, surviving.
Yeah. so again, it's just a very fun little mirror to
I love how they write
movie.
this. If I ever write a story, I'm going to try to do it like this.
Yeah. And it's just everything used twice.
I want everything specific and for a purpose.
And it's so funny, too, because this does take the whole idea that Shaun is totally, like, ignoring this apocalypse to the nth degree, even though it's literally happening, like, in the most obnoxious way you could imagine with this car crash and stuff.
It takes basically him... Yeah, like what you said.
Being in his backyard.
Yeah, the problem has to be in your backyard. I feel like that's the saying. Like, nobody gives a shit until it's in your backyard.
Literally. It's kind of like in Hot Fuzz when they have a wild goose chase, and it's quite literally a wild goose chase.
So we cover that one.
And it's just brilliant. It sounds outlandish on paper when you say it, but it works in this movie. Like he pulls it off.
Yeah, it really is done superbly. So yeah, runs into Devon. They say hello, say that they're both surviving. She asks how long he's been with Liz now, and he's like, like 3 years, which is, dang, you've been together 3 years, and she still ain't met the folks.
Yeah, no, that's wild. Come on, Shaun.
And they live clearly in the same, like, city or town, neighborhood area.
I wish, like... It just seems like, in our view of it, I guess, is that, like, Shaun's the big fuck up and Liz... I don't even really know what Liz is doing. Like, Liz wants to improve, I guess, and Shaun just wants to stay where he's at.
Yeah, what's she doing? Does she have a job? Is that mentioned?
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I don't know what Liz does, to be honest. It would be cool if she was, like, if we knew she was some type of, I don't know, some fancy job, like, I don't know, a marketing exec or something. Like, she had some
architect or something.
Yeah, something cool. But yeah, I guess we never really find out. So it's just like, I just feel like we don't really understand their relationship other than these kind of two basic facts. Like Shaun's kind of stuck here, doesn't really want to break out of his mold. And, Liz does. That's all we really know, which I think it would have been fine, but then you throw Yvonne in here,
Yeah, like what's her ambition? What's her, does she have
what does she want to do?
Specific goals? What do you want to do? Lay something down, like... She was kind of saying that I wanted to do more things, like go on holiday and do stuff together. Well, what stuff?
Yeah.
What holiday where? He's like, we went to Greece. She's like, that's where we met. He's like, well.
And I think that's such a fun juxtaposition to the rest of their relationship. Like, they started off having this big adventure in Greece, meeting in Greece. And then the rest of it is just very boring.
Interesting.
So it's like kind of ironic that you would think, we started off adventurous, so this whole thing's going to be adventurous, and then it's not.
No, it's like dull, and she gets bored with it, and then they have another big adventure, and then you kind of see at the end when they're talking that they just want to do, like, she makes a plan for the day, and it's all kind of boring stuff and chill. So.
Yeah.
Interesting. She asks if they're still out having fun and doing stuff, clearly prying to check the status of the relationship to kind of see what's going on, because she definitely wants some. And he says, yeah, they're going out tonight. And she asks, anywhere nice? And to which he bugs out because he forgot to book the place, and clearly it's been later since he's been to the flower shop and on the bus, stuck in traffic, and then walking to run into her. Well, I guess she didn't walk far for that, but he could have been stuck in traffic for a while. So time's passed, and he hasn't booked the fucking table yet, which is, for a fancy place like that, and I think, what day of the week is this? It was Saturday or Sunday, because he's like, I have work tomorrow, the roommate.
Oh, yeah.
So that would have been Saturday, so it should,
No, I think it's Sunday, though, right? That's what...
No,
because the roommate has to work. It's like it's because Shaun thinks it's Saturday.
But they don't get split up until the next day. There's like a 3-day event thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess 2.5 or something. It comes later. So he bugs out and he rushes. He rushes home, grabs the phone, and tries to book a table.
But before that, he's like talking to Ed, and he's like, I thought you tidied up in here.
Ed's asking him if he wants his other messages.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Just looking at the next sentences, but you always try to
get
jump the
excited.
gun
I
on me.
don't know. I
know
get
you
excited, yeah.
you get excited. So yeah, he rushes home, grabs the phone, trying to book a table. Ed asking him if he wants his other messages. His mom rang about tomorrow. Liz rang about eating out tonight, and Mom rang back, asked if Ed would like to eat her out tonight.
Awesome. And then Sean's like, what?
Yeah, sure, huh? Well, he's trying to get the on hold, trying to get the reservation. The phone's ringing. Wait, so what'd you?
So like when he's like, I thought you tidied up. And he's like, well, I had a few beers.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, I feel that on a spiritual level. Like I'm that guy. Where I'm like, I get my whole room clean.
I did clean up, but I had a few beers, and I was dirty again. Basically,
yeah.
He's like, I fucked it up again. Yeah, it was totally clean. I did.
And I just have not nonchalant. Like, yeah, I had a few beers. Like, I fucked it up. Like, I just like had nonchalant.
Yeah, I was like, I cleaned it up, and I had a few beers. Yeah. It's just the most. What is that called? Like narcissistic almost behavior or something like.
Oh yeah, no, Ed's not a great guy.
Yeah, he's not great at all.
He's a good time though.
Which is, I'd rather just not than have a good time.
So would you be friends with Ed? Would you be friends with Ed? I think I'd be friends with Ed.
I feel like I am Ed to a certain extent.
I wasn't
like being a dick to other people.
I was gonna ask the question of like who is Sean and who's Ed out of us.
I don't know.
I feel like you're Sean. You're the survivor, adult. You're definitely way more adult than I am. So I'm Ed. I don't think, and again, I'm not saying we're completely a 1-for-1.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I would do the stupid shit Ed does later on in the survival aspect.
I don't think you do that. I know I wouldn't, but.
But I feel like, I feel Ed on a spiritual level a lot of the time where I don't know, I'm just gaming and wanking off, you know?
I wish I could just do that more often, but I have to, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm more like Pete, almost. I'm a mix between Pete and Sean. Out here getting shit done, but also want to fuck off too with my best friend. And, you know, I guess I try to, but I get to do that at work, so it's kind of getting two birds stoned at once. Works out pretty well for me. I get to work with my best friend and work there, so, you know, it's all good. Work together. So anyway, Liz calls it the worst time and asks about the night's plans and did you get the, table? And she's like, you forgot, didn't he? Lies and says, no, he got it. She's like, so what's the plan then? Yeah, he lies and says, no, he didn't forget. Like that's, there's a complication with the table, so he lost it, made the reservation but lost it. She's like, you forgot, didn't you? And he's like, no, that's not what happened. And then she's, asking, okay, so you don't have the table, so what's the plan then? Ed is behind him making a W with his fingers, indicating the Winchester, in which he suggests to Liz, like, the Winchester? And she just hangs up on him. So it shows him grab the flowers for his mom and hopping in, I guess David's car?
Yeah, something.
I mean, not David's car, Pete's car?
Yeah.
Because he was in a car.
Yeah. I think he used Pete's car.
I
think he used Pete's car.
I didn't get a good look at it, so I don't remember.
I'm sure he doesn't let Ed drive it, but I'm sure Sean really needed it.
Yeah, he probably has access to it then, you're right.
And we get a fun foreshadow in this scene or a mirror too, where he tries to climb to the window, but he fails.
Oh, yeah.
On this attempt.
Mm-hmm. Let's build up to this real quick. So it shows him grab the flowers, it goes over there. It shows him flying, down the street, going to Liz's friends, David and Diane's place, and he's trying to get in over the intercom. They inform him that Liz doesn't want to see him, and he says, okay, well, I'm gonna climb up and go through the window then if you don't open up, and they don't. So he's like, all right, here I come. I'll be up there in a minute. And so you can hear him like grunting and trying to climb up outside, and then you hear a big flop on the ground, and then you hear the door buzz again. He's like,
yeah,
hey, it's me again. They let him in this time. And then it goes to him inside. He's still holding the flowers for his mom, now using them as a forgive me token to Liz. He's talking to Liz's reflection in the mirror. She's putting on makeup. You were talking about that earlier.
I was talking about the mirror with Pete. You know how like he moves the mirror and then Pete shows up in the background.
But then we're also looking into a mirror right now.
Oh, yeah, I don't know this one. I didn't.
I was thinking about that. Maybe it doesn't play in as much as I thought it did, but either way,
there might be another scene. I just don't know.
Yeah, so he's talking to his reflection. She's putting on makeup, and he's all like, I'm sorry, come on, let's go out. And she's like, where, the Winchester? And he's like, you want to go? She's like, no! And it's like, you stupid fucker. She's like, there's more places than the Winchester. And then she's going out with David and Di. And he's all like, well, I'll come along then. So Says, what? With a failed actress and a twat? And he goes, I never called Diane a failed actress.
Which is so funny because I feel like twat is the worser one, and he doesn't roll that back because he's like, yeah, no, I called David that. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he never rolls that one back, which is funny to me.
Right. Just like, fuck the guy. And then she goes on about all the promises he's broken. He was going to quit smoking with her at the same time, go back to the gym, start drinking red wine instead of beer, a holiday with her, David and Dee's free cable. And he's like, I'm working on that one. Says he can do all those things, pulls out his pack of smokes and tosses them and says, see, I quit. What's next on the list? And Liz is just like, that's just not enough, and walks off.
Fun thing here with the flowers, how they kind of come back too.
Yep.
Later on.
Yep, I know. I love how they do show back up later on. It's perfect. David and Shaun talk shit a minute, and Shaun basically alludes that David is in love with Liz, which trips Diane out because she's sitting right there. She kind of stares off into space, doesn't really react to it. That comes back later.
Yeah. And I love how he's like, I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what he means by that. What?
And Diane,
What does he mean by that?
You see that sunken look,
Yeah,
like 1,000 yards there. Like she knows, yeah.
Like, almost her lack of any emotional response gives away more that she's well aware of it instead of being like, what? What's he mean by that? You know,
I feel bad for Diane. She should. Why are you dating somebody into somebody
and
else?
He's such a turd too. He's just.
Yeah. And this is the time I gotta. This is just something random. I've always thought about this dude. He should play John Lennon in a movie. He's British.
He would play
he
great.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
You'd be perfect. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know why the casting directors back in the day didn't do that, but yeah, there you go. There's your guy.
Do they have one of the new movies yet? That's
I don't think there's a Beatles movie, really.
I feel like there would be.
Yeah, right? The biggest band for like 10 years. Elvis got one.
Did he?
Yeah, NWA.
NWA got one? That's the one I was trying to think of.
It's wild that the Beatles haven't gotten one. Like, they have international appeal. They were the biggest band during the 60s. You would think you would try to hit on that.
Most overrated band of, like, the century.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You think they would, like, you would think the boomers, you know, that they're all dying slowly but surely. So it's like, you think you would want to get on that movie now.
Yeah.
It's wild. Well, get that guy. He's still probably around. He's probably doing something.
Get on Hollywood. What the fuck?
Yeah, get your shit together, guys.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Beatles by any means.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it just kind of makes sense.
I watched the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Goes to Shaun, giving the flowers to Liz back in the bedroom. She reads the tag on it and says, to a wonderful mom. He lies and says he thinks it was a funny joke because of what they were talking about the night before. She knows that they were not for her, they were for his mom, and passes them back to him. She goes off saying if she doesn't do something, she's going to end up drinking every day down at the Winchester the rest of her life and wondering why she didn't do something beforehand. And Shaun asks, what do you mean, do something? And then it goes to him outside with the door shutting in his face, holding him the flowers that were meant for his mom. So he goes off walking in the rain because he just got dumped and he's sad. And I can give you one guess to where he's walking to.
The Winchester.
Heading towards the pub, sees two people like outside while he's walking, like heavily making out next to this building, embracing real deep, it looks like. And he looks down at the flowers, he's still carrying in his hand and tosses them in the trash, which is like, he could have saved them for mom still. That's fucking terrible. And goes to him talking with Ed at the Winchester and says, fucker, you got your pint, you got your pig snacks, what more do you want?
And again, that's exactly the problem. Is like, what else would you want? And Shaun doesn't have an answer for that right now.
True.
You want your pint? You want your pig snacks? Because that's the only thing you can really get at the bar there. You know what I mean?
Well, he wanted his girlfriend.
Yeah. But again,
what more do you,
outside
what more do you really need?
Yeah. So it's like, to me, that's kind of a perfect little summation of the problem with Shaun right now. And then Ed, it shows how like Ed's kind of toxic, where he's like, this is all I need.
Yeah,
pig snacks and a pint.
This is perfect. This is fine. What more could anyone ever want than this?
Yeah, like Shaun, like Ed's the devil on Shaun's shoulder to keep him from doing anything outside of
being with him at the bar.
Yeah,
playing games with him at home.
Yeah.
Shaun's looking all super sad still though, and he said, "Oh, you want your favorite monkey?" Clyde, because I guess he does a great impression of monkeys or something. And he goes off on some ridiculous impression of an ape and thinks that he made it all better and Shaun feels better. And then all of a sudden this song starts playing over the jukebox. That's clearly a special one between Shaun and Liz. And Ed's all tripping, growling, who the fuck played this?
It's on random.
And Shaun's like, breaking into tears, it's on random.
Well, I love that. It's such a modern day thing for it to happen. Great.
Ed asked the bartender, for fuck's sake, will you shut it down? So I guess the bartender closes up for him, and they shut off the jukebox, TV, turn down the lights, and they snuff the flame on a shot. And Shaun explains to Ed why she wants to split up with him, that she doesn't want to waste her life at the bar, just doing the same shit over and over all the time.
But I love how he talked to me. He
does say it.
The way he
says
it is just so fucking cool.
I did notice that.
I have that under my Twitch channel. As I have a picture of Ed and it says "Talk to me." I just
nice. Ed goes to explain that the bar's... He's like, why? Because the bar's filled with all kinds of rich characters. And he goes on to share that one is a mystery kind of man and always suave lady catcher. One is a ex-porn star. And she's started some interracial thing.
First interracial, I guess, movies, films. And... she's done it all, so she's a great, interesting character. There's another guy that was in the mafia and had the trophy wife, yada yada. Bar owners.
Oh, those are the bar owners? Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. So, the bar owners, and that's why the gun up top there actually works. Al said so.
Big Al
said so.
And I love how we never see Big Al.
I know, right? I was wondering, it got me confused.
It's that makes this world so much more believable to me. But there's just a character who exists, but we never... I love that, because it's our imagination.
We do hear of Big Al twice, because...
yeah.
At the end, he's like, I knew it, Big Al's right, That's fucking great.
And dogs don't look up.
There we go. Yep.
Which is so funny. Come on, dog. Again, Big Al's great. We never know.
I'm known in one circle as Big Al.
You might be Big Al.
I could be the guy. You don't know. I prefer Big Z. But the last thing Ed wants to let him know is that it's not the end of the world.
And then thud.
Yeah. Thud. And as he's saying that, the silhouette of someone thumping on the fog-painted glass of the door to the bar.
That's beautiful. This is a beautiful scene. I just like how the sound is just perfect.
As soon as it leaves his lips, boom, it immediately starts. The bartender shouts out, "We're closed!" And they all have a little giggle. So Ed and Shaun come stumbling out the back, singing. And they see that couple that Shaun had passed on the way in, still over there, embracing or kissing. And they joke at him and walk off. But we see behind them, as they're walking away, there's really a zombie eating the shit out of somebody. But they don't notice because they're singing and just oblivious as fuck. And as they're walking, they cross this alley and kind of singing a little jingle. And then, the zombies... out there. Is that an homage to Young Frankenstein?
I have no idea.
Have you not seen Young Frankenstein?
I've seen it. It's been years.
Okay,
I was a youngin' too.
It's about to get pretty ugly up in here for you if you hadn't seen that, or for me because I've been a horrible brother not to show you because Mom showed Tanya and I.
Spaceballs is better.
I don't know. I love it all equally. Young Frankenstein is fucking great.
We ain't found shit out.
We ain't found shit. Tupac.
That scene was rent free in my head. Anytime I need to pick me up.
Yeah, it's a good one to keep in there. They're back at the house and they're jamming out, playing some records real loud when Pete comes raging in the room in his robe and tosses the record out.
Dope little techno song. I'm vibing with it. I like it. I like it.
What do they call it? Techno funk or something instead of he's like fucking rap music. He's like, it's techno funk.
Yeah.
And that's where he says, "Next time I see you, dead." This is where it comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have it written down there at the end, so we'll get there. He comes right to the room, rips the record off the player, and tosses it out the window. And that was the second record Shaun had ever bought, so he's kind of pissed, but drunk, so he kind of gave it up. He's like, "Why are you tripping? It's Saturday." Pete's like, "Nah, it's actually Sunday." And he has to work Monday morning, and it's bad because everyone in his department is sick. Is out sick, so they're all backed up on work. And he's looking all sweaty, kind of sickly, and has a bandage on his hand. Pete goes off on Shaun, and Shaun apologizes and said him and Liz split up.
No, he says, "We split up with Liz." He says, "we." And to me, I'm like, that's just a little association of him and Ed.
He said, "We split up."
Oh, so it's just like, we.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, you're right. I'm dumb.
No, just made a mistake, man. Yeah, so it's them two had split up, and he did specifically use the words, "we split up," but then as soon as he says that, Pete kind of relents a bit and says in a lower tone, "Please, just keep it down." As Pete goes to leave, back to bed, Ed mutters "prick" under his breath, and just re-enrages Pete. Pete goes off on Ed. Shaun comes to Ed's defense. Pete thinks Shaun should stop defending Ed, that Ed's holding him back. Does he keep Ed around so that there's a bigger loser than him? Shaun, asks, what's that supposed to mean? That's when Ed notices the bandage on Pete's hand and asks, like, what happened? He was mugged on his way home from work, and one of the muggers bit him. He says he's got a splitting headache and that he's going to sleep. He storms off and screams that the front door was left open again.
And Pete has a great line in there where he's like, well, if you want to live like an animal, go live out in the shed.
Yeah.
Which is a very fun allude to the very end of this movie.
Oh.
And then there's a great, like, Ed being a child, like, in this conversation with Pete, where he's like, why'd they bite you? I just love his delivery of, like, he sounds so wholesome in that. Like, why'd they bite him? He's like, I didn't fucking sit there and ask him.
Yeah, I didn't sit there and ask.
I just like how how Nick Frost just, like, so like, why'd they bite? Like, he just sounds like a little kid.
Yeah, he does play the kid.
I just love it. Just everything he does in this movie. He just kills it.
I think everything I've ever seen him do in anything, he fucking kills it. It's also when he's going off on, why do you keep him around? With Pete snapping on both of them, Pete brings up, oh, you say you split up. Who did the leaving, Liz or you? And so he knows that Liz split up with him. So I was mentioning there, I want to make sure that got hit. So Pete, after chewing them both out and saying that he's got a headache and going to sleep, he storms off and screams that the front doors was open again and shuts it. Ed mutters some more shit talk and says, next time I see him, he's dead. And he couldn't be more right. Shows Shaun stumbling into the kitchen, all drunk. As he's walking by, he plays the answering machine, and he's listening to the messages, and it's like the one that he missed from Liz earlier. Then it's one about his mom, asking if he's going to bring Liz over, not knowing that Liz and him just broke up. As, you know, we're hearing this, he's frantically writing something on the whiteboard of the fridge. Once he's finished, he stumbles backwards and lands in a chair in the kitchen and passes the fuck out. He wakes up the next morning, still in the chair in the kitchen. I love how it goes from night to like day. He didn't move a damn bit. And I just know those drunken nights where I've had quite a few of them. I'm glad to say those are in my past. I think I might go back to it eventually, you know, someday. Perhaps next year on my birthday, just have a drink then and go back to sobriety. Except I kind of like this. See how it goes. Anyway, he wakes up next morning, still in the kitchen chair, and reads the drunken note that he left for himself on the fridge. And it said, go round mums, get Liz back, sort life out.
And it's cool to me because it's like it tells you what's going to happen for the rest of the movie. And it's still entertaining. It's still entertaining. Yeah. And I think the balls of this movie
told you what's going to happen.
Yeah. Like, and it does it multiple times. Because we have this scene with the little list, but then there's also when they do the walkthrough of like, go to Liz's, go to here, go to that. Like, you know, and they slowly like work out the plan. Mm-hmm. But it's just cool because they tell you exactly what's going to happen in this film. And it's like the balls on them to be like, this is what's going to happen. And we're still going to be entertaining.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it reminds me of The Matrix where there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Yeah.
Like, we know what the path is, but when we go to walk it, it's just a whole lot of fun still. And, like, they tell us exactly where the path leads and what's going to be on it, but then we get to walk it, and it's fucking great.
And it's not nearly as simple as they think. Like, they're going to show up to Mom's house and kill Philip right there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so easy, too. It ends up being this big emotional thing and cost them the car and just everything.
Yeah, there's just so much that plays into everything else. It's so fucking brilliant. He hits the shop, asking Ed on the way out if he wants anything. He's like, yo, blah, blah, blah.
The Cornetto, the name of the trilogy.
What trilogy?
These movies, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and World's End, the Cornetto.
World's End? I've never seen World's End.
Yeah.
I've heard of World's End.
It's a little... But I like it more than I should. It's like a weird guilty pleasure for me, but it's not as good as Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz. But that's what they call this trilogy, is the Cornetto trilogy, because they all have the little ice cream in all three of them.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so you were going to throw that away, and that was the name of the trilogy. I'd be like, we don't need, who cares about The Dark Knight?
Well, I'd rather watch this trilogy, I think, right now.
Oh, that's outrageous. That's outrageous.
And he's walking, in his hungover haze, he doesn't realize the chaos going all around him. Trash is all over, people are running, zombies are in the street.
But I got some things to say about this. The car, the roommate's car is still there, which is a fun thing to catch. And then the one-armed zombie, what breaks in, is in the background.
Is it?
And he shows up like one more time when he's walking back into the house. You see him a little closer.
Really? That's fucking
So that's really cool. And throughout this little walking scene, we see the bald guy from the first day with the car. And these are just the ones I spotted. The car washing guy, the guy who's cleaning his car. He's in the way off down the street.
Car washing guy. Oh, yeah, okay.
And then the woman who I forget exactly where she was on the street or something. She's there. And the homeless dude's there at the very right. He's like, I didn't have enough money for the shop. but that's the same homeless guy from the first walking scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's
Save a
just so
buck.
cool because it's like if you weren't
But it's
paying,
actually awesome. Yeah.
paying attention, like it's a cool mirror to the original walking scene. But all these guys are there, but they're all zombies now.
See, that's you can rewatch this, I'm sure, multiple times and still find some little new things like that. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I think makes this film so special. Is it's just getting more and more attributes to the same painting.
Doesn't notice all that shit going on around him. And he gets inside. Oh, and there's like zombies in the street. There's blood on the cooler door and the floor. Like he even kind of slips and slides, and I'm guessing a little pool of blood on the ground. But he just doesn't notice that there's anyway because he's all drunk and hungover. He heads back home, still completely unaware that there's
Also,
zombies walking around everywhere.
Who opens a Diet Coke can with their teeth?
Because he has the thing in his other hand. It just seems stupid.
No,
Yeah,
that's how you fuck up
a
your
better
teeth.
management of.
There's got to be a pinky or
hands
something. Yeah, like just my teeth hurt. During
Yeah,
that.
I was
I'm
like, you're gonna scratch your enamel, bro.
Yeah, that doesn't come back. We can't get we got a
Yeah.
guy to the moon, but we can't get your enamel back. You know what I mean?
He gets inside and turns on the telly, and every channel he turns to continues like a sentence.
Yeah,
like continues
yeah.
like basically what's happening. He doesn't know what's happening because he keeps flipping channels and doesn't realize that they're all like finishing the sentence that's explaining what's happening.
It's so good, so good.
So brilliant.
And
So brilliant.
it's just like the TV and the universe are coming together to try to warn this
It's just
buffoon.
Sue is like trying to. You notice how shit's weird outside?
Yeah.
You notice how we're talking about zombies and shit on TV? Like, listen. Yeah. So yeah, the TV's basically telling him the zombie outbreak is happening, but it's coming from different sources, so he just definitely doesn't get it right now. It's just going right over his head. You hear Ed say there's a girl in the garden. British speak for yard. I don't know what they call an actual garden with vegetables in it. A vegetable garden?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Let us know.
We have improved on English a little bit since separating.
Yeah. Until we won 1776 on your asses.
No taxation without representation. We like to tax our own people now.
Tax this dick.
We're already taxed to hell. What's up? Anyway, now we're back to it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. You hear Ed say that there's this girl in the garden. Shaun gets up and goes to look out the window and sees her. So they go outside and try to get her attention, keeping some distance though. She's not responding and keeps her back turned to them. Ed picks up a rock and tosses it at her. And that gets her attention enough to turn around and she looks all zombified. They think she's just drunk and they're like, look how fucked up she is. She walks up on Shaun and takes him down. And they think she's just drunk and going after him all fucking weird like. So she's flopping all around on him. Shaun asks Ed for some help, and he's like, hang on one second, and runs inside. And Shaun, while he's kind of fighting her off, waiting for Ed, notices, kind of ain't no joke, and she's kind of fucked up and trying to bite him, and looks real strange. But then Ed pops back out with his camera and asks them, like, smile. And Shaun and the zombie both turn and look at Ed. Ed snaps a shot of them both real quick.
And I think I think this is a very fun subvert of expectations because as the audience, I feel like, oh, they're finally going to get it. And then they just think she's a drunk girl. I just love that.
They still think she's just
like even when it's right there,
on some drugs or something.
Yeah.
Especially they say zombies, so they're well aware in that universe. Like zombies are a thing already. It's like a lot of zombie movies. They're like, oh, they're walkers.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
They don't have a term for zombies when it's still the same exact like country universe history, but somehow there's never heard of zombies.
No one ever figured that one out or wrote a story or nothing. Yeah.
Like The Walking Dead, I don't know how they get away with it sometimes because I don't know. They get up off the ground and she keeps like coming for Shaun and he's like, hey, that's enough. I'm warning you. After she keeps coming at him, he's like, okay, and like shoves her hard enough for her to fall back onto like a metal umbrella base, like yard umbrella base stand thing, pipe holder thing, and she gets impaled on it, but immediately starts pulling herself up off the pipe and continues to come after them. They head inside, and on their way in, there's another super large zombie, all bloody mouth, right there in the backyard. I guess they get past him, and they're back inside. Shaun's on the phone trying to reach anyone, but the lines are all engaged. More British talk for busy.
Busy, yeah.
Which is silly.
I want a fire truck. Anything with lights. I thought that was so funny.
Ed asks if he tried the police, ambulance, and fire. Anything with flashing lights. And Shaun's like, it's all one number and it's busy.
And we don't see them walk in, but I think it is Ed, does not lock the front door.
I I think it's Shaun.
You think it's Shaun?
I think it's Shaun.
Because it's like I tell you this, I went NCIS on their asses for when like.
Because did he shut the door when he left to pick something up?
See, but we don't see him come back in. We see him back on the phone. Like it kind of teleports them from.
You're right.
So.
You're right.
But I NCIS this. So like the reporters are like, make sure you lock the front door. Essentially, you dumb fucks. And like Ed's face goes, oh shit, way quicker than Shaun's. And I feel like that's like like it's the difference between shit, Ed didn't do it, or Ed's like I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like you realize, like you have that moment.
That could be. I guess I didn't notice their faces. I just for some reason felt like Shaun.
I could be wrong, yeah. If somebody knows, I'll write us in. I just thought, like, if you watch Ed's face during that, Ed's face goes, oh shit, before Shaun's. And I feel like that's like when you know you totally fucked up.
Yeah, check out Ed's face then. Because I missed that part, I guess, probably typing or something.
Also, fuck the man.
The newsman?
Yeah, well, no, they're like, the newsman's like, stay inside.
Yeah,
don't go
okay.
in. He's like, fuck
sure
the
that's where
man.
it was.
It's just a very fun little line.
They flop on the couch and start watching the telly, and the newscaster is saying that all over traffic is at a standstill, that people should stay in their homes and secure all doors and windows. And that's what you're saying. Fuck that.
Fuck the man.
Fuck the man. And as that is being said, we can see zombies like walking in the front door that they frequently leave open and scares the shit out of both of them, and it has one arm.
Yeah, we saw this guy earlier, which is fun.
Which I totally missed, which is awesome. They hop up and start chucking random stuff at the armless zombie in the living room. Ed grabs the ashtray and smashes it on the zombie's head, killing it. Yeah, he is standing over it all savage-like. He's got quite the warrior face on, heavy breathing, with his shirt saying, I got wood, which I'm sure.
Awesome.
And Shaun's like, I'll go and lock the doors. Which kind of made me think, like, oh, he fucked up. He's like, I'll go right on right now. I totally fucked up, didn't do it before. That's why I'm like... I think it's Shaun. Hear the other zombies from the backyard scratching at the windows. Ed wants to go take them out, but Shaun thinks that they should stay inside. Ed's like, fuck that! We can take them. And Shaun says, as long as they're out there and we're in here, we're safe. And as soon as those words leave his mouth, the zombies start busting through the window. So, as they watch, they hear the newscaster say that if you have to deal with one of them, that they can be taken out by removing the head or destroying the brain. And so... they get a basket of random shit, and they go outside with the basket of shit and start chucking all kinds of junk at the zombies. Even the basket itself, after they run out of the shit inside the basket. It's a plastic one, too. It's not like it's even wicker or something that might irritate something. Yeah. They want to get into the shed, but it's locked. So Ed finds the record.
Oh, yeah.
What did I forget, what?
Nothing.
What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. Someone... jump in the... What's somebody
I thought you were jumping
jumping?
To the shed.
No,
jumping to the shed.
No, jumping the gun. I think I'm jumping the gun. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Ed finds the record that Philip tossed out the night before and chucks it at the big zombie, and it shatters to pieces, but one of the pieces gets stuck in its head. So they just have like a light bulb idea moment that they grab the whole case of albums. They start just selecting different albums to chuck, saving some, like Prince, while chucking others, like the Batman soundtrack.
Which is very fun. The scene is really funny. Like, how could I get record grading into this movie? Like this bit. And it's just a really creative way how to do that. On, like, the survival side of things, totally stupid. Like, I feel like you could throw knives, anything else. But I'll allow it because we get the fun little record.
We have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you see those guys that chuck the playing cards at bamboo or something like that, or pieces of stock of some kind, and it just slices right through shit. Like, maybe if you wung a record just the right way, it could fuck you up a little bit, but
you'd think, like, if this
is gonna decapitate nobody.
Like, if this is gonna be possibly like a legit ass apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
Like, throwing those records is pretty like shitty move, because it's like that might be the only music left,
right?
So it's like you guys are just destroying it, for really no reason.
It could become one of the rarest things on the planet, and nobody else can get it anywhere else.
Yeah, so it's like, you fucked up, guys. I don't know. Like, logically, no sense, but comedically, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
After a few more records, Shaun's like, had enough. He just goes up and straight body slams the shed door to splinters. Just fucking chucks himself through it. And they arm themselves with a spade and a cribbage mallet. Or a cribbage bat. Yeah. Which one am I taking?
Yeah, which one? You got to pick between those two. What's your class going to be?
Spade.
I think the spade. I would take the spade.
Yeah. I feel like I could flatten down the curve part of it. And
the paddles is going to be so much work.
Yeah, it's more blunt, and you have to... It just be a lot more work. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I'm thinking about. It's just a lot more swinging. They arm themselves, and then they just start overhead swinging and whacking the zombies to death, and they just keep whacking, and blood starts spraying all over them. And it shoots to them in the couch, or on the couch inside, and Ed's eating that ice cream cone. The cornetto. Shaun has a cup of coffee or tea or something. And they're watching the telly again, and the news guy is saying to contain and do not approach anyone who has been bitten. They both look up at the ceiling, remembering that Pete was bitten and that he's been upstairs this whole time. So they're standing at the bottom of the stairs calling up like, hey, Pete! Hey, Pete! Shaun's worried about A, waking him up if he's not dead, and B, that he's dead. Either he's dead up there or he's not dead and then we're going to be dead. So, I just love how he's scared like two different ways. They don't hear a response at all, and they both basically decide like, oh, he's out like for the day, or he's not in. So it shows Shaun going to call Liz, but her line's engaged, and Ed's just like, that was quick. Such a low blow.
Even Ed at one point with the whole yelling upstairs, oi, prick.
Oi, prick.
And there's nothing.
Nothing at all. So Shaun goes to call Liz, the lines are engaged, and then as he's calling Liz, he gets a beep in, and his mom is calling him. Her and Philip had to deal with some zombies. They're a little shook that she might have been bitten, and were relieved when she said that she wasn't. But she said that Philip had been bitten and is feeling a little out of the weather.
And it's so funny, their reaction. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
No worry, yeah, who cares?
They're all stressed out, like, Mama might got bit, but then she's clear, she's like, okay, cool. But Philip might have got bit. Oh, okay, it's fine.
I just love that reaction. That happens a couple of times where it's like Daft says something, or
yeah, it happens. So they make a plan. They do all the things that they need to do, which is basically rescue his mom and
kill
Philip, and save Liz, and find someplace safe to go. So they make a plan, take Pete's car, go to Mom's, kill Philip, go get Liz, and then ride it out, I think, at Liz's place. Then the plan changes to bring them all back to Shaun's place. It was familiar and enjoyable, but it's not safe, so they change the plan once more to go to the Winchester at the end and wait it all out, wait the whole apocalypse out there, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? So they got the plan. They're checking out the mail slot, the street, to see if there's any zombies. And Shaun's like, Ed, don't call them that. And he's like, why? That's what they are. And Shaun's like, well, just don't, blah, blah, blah. But he's like...
Are they, though? Or something like that after he says that?
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. Like, are there, though?
Are there? Or are there not? Yes, I forgot how it goes exactly. But... So they check the street, and there's a bunch out there. So before they leave, though... Shaun has to pee, and while in the bathroom, he can see Pete's silhouette in the shower curtain.
In the mirror. He does
through the mirror,
mirror motion.
Yeah. And he, like, closes it shut a little further. He turns to pull the curtains. Pete's all zombified. Instead of, like, handling him or anything like that, he just kind of shuts the door, heads down the stairs. And what's he say to Ed? He's like... I
don't think he'll be mad or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, Pete's going to totally trip when he finds out I was driving his car. He's like, I don't think you'll mind. So they hop into Pete's car, heading to Shaun's mom's, and the radio's all talking about the apocalypse. Ed wants to play something else, so he puts in a cassette tape. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. For you youngins, that's what we used to listen to before we had streaming everything in CDs and all kinds of other shit. That's like jamming some kind of rock. I wouldn't call it like heavy rock or metal. It's just some...
Before this is when we see the soccer kid again.
See the soccer kid again?
Yeah, when they're walking from the house and getting into the car, that's when you see the soccer kid turned into a zombie. Also, like a bunch of the guys we saw earlier. Some of them I think are showing up. Yeah, like all the zombies around the car are the people from the first scene, just all gathered right there. So that's
we need
fun.
to slow it down and pause through it.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
But yeah, the zombie soccer kid's there. I wrote everyone is here, like Smash Brothers, because just like everyone from the opening scene is
fucking sweet.
Covered around.
I wish I would have paid attention a little more. I just kind of assumed them other zombies, and I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted from you,
Yeah.
Like, until you go through and watch it a few times to see all the fun little intricate things. Or the double usages of people who just love it. So he's heading to his mom's, and the radio's talking about the apocalypse. Jam that rock music, and as he's putting the tape in, he's distracted and hits someone, and they stop and, like, check it out, or, like, reverse back and check it out. And I don't know if we're not supposed to be sure if dude was dead and then they hit him, or if dude died because they hit him and then turned into a zombie.
Well, it does take a while, so I would assume he was
That's what I thought too, but since he broke his neck and turned right away, I mean... I think in this... His mama didn't change it didn't take very long for his mama to change, and it only took his stepdaddy a while to change because he got bit.
Yeah, well, he got double bit, though.
Double bit.
So, like, that probably sped that shit up, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like... honestly, but in the situation, you kind of got to take. I think you take like, hey, he's a zombie. Nobody's gonna care. I don't know. I think you just take it. You just take the W. I guess not the W, but you just take.
Pick the L.
Take the easier path of resistance, where it's like, I didn't murder this guy. This guy was already a zombie. I think you got to pick in that situation.
Even if it was alive, or even if they were alive and they accidentally just hit somebody running across the street, I'm like, it's a zombie apocalypse.
They should have been paying. You still got to check both sides of the street.
Yeah,
bro.
you
That's
can't just be running around all willy nilly.
That's on him. That's on him. Mm-hmm. So got to follow the laws of the road.
They make to his mom's, and Ed sees Philip's car in the driveway, and he's just in love with it because it's a Jaguar. He says he'll stay with the car outside, make sure the coast is clear, and if anything happens, toot the horn a couple times and to alert him inside. And Shaun's like, all right, cool. And Shaun goes inside to talk with his mom a bit while looking for Philip, thinking that he's got to kill him. And they find him watching the telly and apologizes to Phil before, as he's like getting ready to swing the cribbage club mallet bat. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, I know.
The cribbage stick.
I think it's a bat, cricket bat.
I think it's a cricket bat. Did I say cribbage? Cricket. That's what I meant. I think I'm saying cribbage. And apologizes to Philip. Like, I'm sorry for this. And he's like, why? He immediately stops. He's like, and so he drops the weapon down. And he realizes he's not a zombie yet and says, nothing. No reason. And it goes to Shaun and his mom talking in the kitchen.
There's a big deal with this one where you can hear Ed wrecking the car in the background.
I did hear that. I didn't put that in.
I did like I desperately tried to hear the 3 honks. I did not hear the 3 honks.
He didn't give out 3 honks.
Yeah. I don't.
The coast is clear. He just wrecked the car.
Yeah, but he wrecked the car. And it's just so funny though.
He didn't want them all rushing out to see that.
Yeah, and it's just like that's a small. Again, that's one of those small little things that you might not catch on your first time.
Mm-hmm. In the background out
just
there.
Awesome. It's awesome.
So it goes to Shaun and his mom talking in the kitchen. And there's quite a heavy conversation going on. And they're having a little conversation. He asks her how much she loves Philip. And Shaun tries to tell her how bad Philip was to him behind her back and made up that he tried to touch him. And before she heard that, she seemed like a space cadet, almost willfully ignorant. Then when he tried to pull that last, thing.
And very good, like, mom reaction, I feel like. It felt very, like, that's how it is, man. Like, she just snaps.
She is until he crossed the line, and she just went stern face, slowly turned and looked at him like, "You serious?" He's like, "Yeah, I made that up. My bad." He immediately checked him, and she told him that he may not like that they're together, but hopes that he can at least have enough respect for her feelings.
Yeah,
like that she wants to be. I thought she just told him straight up, and he's like, "Yep, I agree. My bad." So it goes to them finally leaving the house, and they head outside. Ed is standing there smoking a cig. Barbara says, "Hi, Ed. Oh my, how you've grown."
You better believe it.
Yeah, he said, "You better believe it." Shaun goes up to him and asks where the car is, and Ed reveals that it was wrecked. Shaun's like, "It was parked." Ed replies, "Yeah, guess we gotta take the Jag." And out of nowhere, like in most zombie movies, a group of zombies comes from nowhere, people's blind spots apparently, or some shit, because they always just seem to pop out of nowhere. Bites Philip right on the motherfucking neck, and Shaun fights off the zombies, gets the keys from Philip.
And this is like the beginning of Philip's redemption arc, because he's like, worry about your mother, even though he just got bit.
Mm-hmm. He's like, don't, reluctant to give him the keys, but then eventually passes him the keys, which Shaun tosses him to Ed.
Which is just a dumb strategic move here.
I mean,
Ed already wrecked one car, though.
Right. Well, he did it intentionally so he could drive this other one.
Yeah, but still, though, I don't know if you trust Ed,
I wouldn't trust Ed with shit, no.
I trust him to make orangutan noises. That's all I trust Ed with.
But they all end up getting in the car and dipping out, and Ed's driving all fast, blasting music. Philip's complaining about the music. He's like, "I'd be all good if that music wasn't playing. Like, fuck the bite, fuck it, what I need. I'd be real good, though, if that music just stopped. I'd be fine."
And they ignore Philip, but when Barbara says it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
so Ed cuts it off for Barbara, because she asked. They get to Liz's apartment. Shaun gets out.
Childproof lock stuff. Gotta be safe, Shaun.
Oh, yeah. So he tries to get out, and there's childproof locks. We're going to need to know that later.
Which, again, I think another nice, Philip cares, That's what he still has
for
a child.
who in the back? There's no children around.
No, but he has them still from a billion years ago from when Shaun.
So that's another
little he used to care, yeah. Or he does care. It just he never got rid of them.
So he gets to Liz's apartment, and Shaun gets out after being let out from the child pre-flock, and he goes all British Rick Grimes on these motherfucking zombies out in the yard and starts whacking them down with the, not cribbage.
Cricket.
Not mallet.
Bat.
Gets his way to the door. He tries to buzz himself in, tries to get in, but there's zombies behind him. So before he has a chance to say, like, hey, it's Shaun, let me in, you can hear him actually climbing up.
Yeah.
To the window that he didn't make it up for the first time, trying to get to talk to Liz. He makes it up this time, like, dun dun ta da, sort of thing. He gets inside and he's talking to Liz and tries to get her to go with him somewhere safe. David and Di are debating with Liz if they are going. She says to Shaun, okay, Flash, what's the plan? I guess, I don't know if is that brought up before? Like, why she's calling him Flash or anything?
No. Yeah, no, there's somebody else who calls him a different name, too, but I just think that's just some random shit.
Yeah.
But, this is where Shaun drops exacerbate back at Liz. Like, that's only going to exacerbate things. Because, like, she in the opening scene.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know what I meant.
And to me, like, there's a difference between David and Shaun is, like, Shaun applies the knowledge. Like, he uses it in a new sentence. Where David later on about the lights just parrots what she says. Which is just kind of a shitty move. Or it doesn't mean you really learned anything. You're just parroting exactly what Liz said. Like, Liz has that interaction.
He's just like basically agreeing with Liz because he's in love with Liz.
Yeah, so it's just like one person applying. And I thought about this little moment a lot, just with like when you're in school or academics or whatever, and you're trying to learn something, like applying it to something else rather than just regurgitate the exact way it's used. You know what I mean? Like this, like that dude David can solve one equation. Shaun can solve all of them. My math guys, I think, are falling. Everybody else is fucked, but like the math dudes get it.
Yeah, I'm fucked then because.
I think you got it.
I get what you're saying, but I'm fucked when it comes to math, though. Yeah.
And then another fun little part in this whole little thing is that they each call Elizabeth something different, which to me is like the definition of this movie is just like...
Who's Elizabeth? Oh, Liz, Elizabeth,
and Lizzie, because that's what the guy always calls her. David. David always calls her Lizzie.
David.
Yeah, I got a lot more shit to talk about David later on.
Good.
But, fuck that guy. But it's just, like, to me, again, it's like everything has, like, it's three different perspectives on the same character or whatever. And again, this is me getting inside baseball, but it's just like how this whole movie is, like, how can we take one thing and make it different? And to me, this is just another little vacuum of that happening.
So for his plan, he says, gather the blunt objects, hit him in the head, stay close, and focus. We're going to the Winchester. He kind of has a face, but doesn't seem like too upset of a face. He has a plan. He's going for it. It just kind of seems to ride with it. They bust out the front door. Shaun, Rick Grimes, out there swinging that thing, gets picked up by Ed, and they all pile inside the Jag. They're arguing with Shaun about why the Winchester is the place to go. He argues that it's secure and someplace familiar, has some things to drink and munchies, stuff like that. This is where Philip goes into like, I'm sorry for being a dick story your whole life. He says it's like hard being a dad. You were already so grown at 12 years old when I came into the picture. All I wanted to do is just to be strong. And Shaun's all crying and tells Ed to pull over, and takes him a second to actually get him to do it, but he does pull over extremely obnoxiously. Like,
and he hits a guy like immediately after that. So it's just like and to me that's like it's stupid little metaphor for life. Like this horrible traumatic thing happens, and then some other bullshit happens immediately because life doesn't give a fuck. Like,
it sure doesn't.
Like, X, Y, or Z dies, and then you get a flat tire on the way home. Like, fuck you, universe. Like, I'm having a shitty time already.
It's already bad enough. You don't need all this right now. You know?
But I think this is like, again, they got, the scariness beginning of Philip, being a creeper weirdo guy, and we don't like Philip, and all this illusion, before the little car scene of him bleeding out and saying, care for Barbara. It's kind of a really cool turn for Philip. Like, again, he could have just been another one note, the shitty dad character, but he has this whole little redemption arc, which
he could have just
awesome.
let that off like, fuck you, Shaun.
No, it could have been like, and it's just like, I guess Shaun was, but
he's
it
just being hard
adds,
on me because he loves me. He didn't say it, but he does.
Like, it adds a whole other wrinkle to this film, what they didn't have to do.
Oh, so they have a little heart-to-heart talk. Shaun's all crying, tells Ed to pull over. Philip turns into a zombie, and Shaun tells his mom that Philip's gone, and she says, where's he gone? I don't think catching on to the severity of the situation, like what's going on. Philip turns real quick, and they try to leap out of the car, but the child locks are on, and they need someone to open up the doors for him. Like, Ed's all fucking off, not opening it. And so Liz has to come around and opens it. And she acts like it's so inconvenient. Like, bitch, if he's not doing it, just go over there and help.
Well, yeah, but why is he not doing it? That's a pretty big fuck up. Like, seconds count in that situation.
True. All right, they get out, after Liz opens it up for him. Shaun just closed the door on Philip. Philip's all just trying to kind of get at them through the window. They don't have any of their gear. And Mom's sitting there thinking that Philip is still in there somewhere, in the zombie somewhere. And Shaun's trying to reassure her, no, there's nothing of your husband or the man you used to know at all in him anymore. The zombie's going through a back seat into the front seat to turn off the music that got accidentally turned on and left on by Ed fucking around. So maybe there is a little bit left in the dad, a little bit something left of you, because he's just like, all he wanted was the fucking music turned down.
I think there is like a little bit, and we see this with like Ed at the very end where he's still playing video games. So I think there is some level of them retaining.
And he listens to Shaun.
Yeah.
When he's like, hey, stop it, I'm knocking off. He's like, okay, back to gaming.
I think it makes sense from like, if they knew basic shit about humans, how they work, then they could get more humans to eat. Like, that might be the only... Because I did want to talk to you at some point about the zombies in this, like how good of zombies are they. And I'm like, I think they're pretty shit overall. It seems like they don't move that fast. They're not really... They're not 28 days later where they're hauling ass at you,
28 days later, zombies slow down eventually.
Yeah, but like these guys are starting slow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same like The Walking Dead, they start slow.
Yeah. But I don't think they would be that effective. But if they're a little smarter like this, so they have if they have that little memory, that might be how they're getting so many people.
And at the end, they do talk about how they still have some functions where they can do menial tasks. And, like go retrieve fucking shopping carts and stuff.
But it's like, I feel like capitalism would totally take advantage of zombies. Like,
probably, for sure. For sure.
There's a fun line here, too, where David's like, do you know where we're going? Or something like that. And Sean's like, I guess I would retort is like, do you know where we're going, David? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is when they're walking back in the alley. So, yeah, it shows them walking in the back alley, and that's when David says that to Shaun. They're all kind of bitching, and they're walking along, and Liz and Shaun are talking, and Shaun was just like, he had mentioned, like, it's not about them getting back together or anything at a point earlier. It's just about he wanted to make sure that she was safe and this and that. So she basically tells him that despite his best efforts, she hasn't changed her mind from the night before, and nothing's changed. Like, even though there's a zombie apocalypse and all that stuff, it doesn't really matter. Their status of relationships staying the same. And this is where, in this back alley, they bump into Yvonne again.
Wait, there's something I noticed in this. Okay, yeah. How they know they're close to the pub, they see a guy getting eaten, and that's Snake Hips. With his little cowboy boots.
Oh, he's selling cowboy boots? Yeah. I totally missed that too.
So I was like, that's a good little...
Yeah, he's that.
The sex star.
Yeah, the sex... Yeah, kind of the...
He's somebody.
He catches a lot of tail.
Oh, yeah, he's the player, yeah. Mm. But yeah, Yvonne's parallel group.
Yeah, so Yvonne and her boyfriend and the group run into each other again. Basically like, oh, how you doing? Surviving. So the surviving thing's coming back. And they're like, all right, well, basically, they just kind of... exchange a few more little words, and as they're passing, each group's passing by each other, they're like their mirror versions of themselves.
Yeah. Always a fan of this. I'm a sucker for it. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for it. The only other movie I can really think of what does it is Spaceballs, and we talked about that earlier with the comb.
Oh, because they have the stunt doubles?
Yeah, the stunt doubles. So it's like, that's the only other movie, and I'm a sucker for it there.
They have it. Oh, Harold and Kumar, when they go to White Castle, they're just like, hey, those guys are like two lame versions of us. So it's kind of like, they just pass by the lame versions of themselves, but it's Yvonne's group.
It is cool, too. A thing I noticed with this watch is that they're gender flipped, where like Shaun passes Yvonne and Declan passes Liz, which is fun.
Yeah, but the two old ladies, the moms are the same.
Yeah, no, the other ones are the same, but those are gender flips.
Oh, yeah.
They're the leader of their group.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of fun.
So they're trying to cut through some yards within a shortcut, and Shaun does the whole Hot Fuzz thing, like, what, you never heard of a shortcut before? And goes to jump the fences between the yards and totally biffs it and takes the fence down. But in Hot Fuzz, he nails it and, like, flips right over it. And
he just keeps going.
Frost or Snow, whatever, is the one that busts through.
Yeah.
So they just kind of swap it for this movie. But
I
this movie came out first, though, before Hot Fuzz.
This one's the first one,
Yeah, this is, like, their trial run before Hot Fuzz. They damn near nailed it perfect with all the tie-ins. But Hot Fuzz, they perfectly did it.
I love how, like, Simon Pegg, like, falls over and then he gets right back up. Like, the little
Yeah.
Like acting like nothing happened.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. I meant to do that. In one of the yards they're passing through, though, mom thinks that, or one of her friends lives there. So is this mom senile? She's starting to,
I would have, like, I wrote this down.
Is she just in traumatic shock?
Like, fuck Jill and Derek, dude. Like, fuck, like, I would be so pissed, like, if our mom was in this situation, she's like, I gotta see my friends. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, mom. Let's get, like, you know what I mean? We do not have time to worry about.
You give a fuck about, like, you give a fuck less about any of your friends. We got a place to get
like,
to.
If they'll show up if they show up. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yell at them, say, come to the bar.
Yeah, so it's like, I have no sympathy. This makes me like, you've never seen a zombie movie in your life, woman. Like, get your shit together.
And they know about zombies because it's in their, like, vocabulary. It's not one of those fucking stupid movies where this is the first instance of zombies that they've ever heard of, so.
Yeah. Also, another Ed fuck up when they go to save the mom or whatever. Him and David, like, I don't want to cramp your style.
Oh yeah, Shaun notices that the mom isn't with the group and goes and super jumps off of a little trampoline over the fence.
Which is cool because it's like him succeeding at the thing he just tried to do when, like, shit's on the line.
Oh, true. Okay, okay.
Like, Shaun really, he's like Michael Jordan in, like, the playoffs. You know what I mean? Fucking just goes.
You can count on him.
Yeah, count on him to go ape shit
when the shit's really needing to get done. Yeah, he can perform. Yeah, so he's over the fence, rescues mama from a zombie, and she's like, oh, that was not my friend. Fucked up, I'm sorry. He gets her back to the yard and yells at David and Ed that they can jump in at any time to help out. And he's like, I don't want to cramp your style, like you said.
Another thing we get is Barbara's holding her hand with that paper towel thing she wraps her arm with, because this is where she got bit.
See, I knew this is where she got bit, but I missed the bite. Or I didn't see her.
I don't think we see the bite, but we see her with the paper towel thing, like, trying to.
I totally missed her tucking it in. Oh, I think I do remember seeing her, like, I thought she was just straightening out her shirt and, like, whatever. Okay, yup. Damn. That's where mama got bit.
She kind of deserves it, though. Honestly, zombie world.
Yeah, dumb bitch. Like,
I think it's just typical old lady survival skills. Like, they're just like, oh, I gotta go see how my friends are doing. Like, they just, like, they don't know what an apocalypse is. Especially if they were, like, not into cool shit back in the day, like Mad Max. Like, they didn't have no idea what this situation, you know what I mean? This is beyond anything.
But they know about zombie movies and things like that. She should have seen the original fucking.
But does she know about zombies? Because, like, Shaun and Ed know about zombies because they're cool guys like us. But, like, she never talks about zombies. Like, if she, like, she could be like Jer Bear. That man's only seen westerns his whole entire life.
Yeah, guarantee. He asked Jer, like, what's a zombie? He'd be like, some reanimated dead guy. I don't know.
I'm gonna ask him.
I'm
gonna ask him. I'm gonna be like, can you define zombie for me? And if he could do it, I'll roll it back. But I think there's a 50-50 chance. I bet he might not know what a zombie is.
So they get back to the yard. They're just right across the street, like past this fence and then a street, and it's the Winchester. So I don't know why I got Juan stuck in my head. Fucking Shaun, not Juan. Shaun.
That's the Chinese version of this film.
You mean
Juan.
Hispanic?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Juan of the Dead. Juan of the Myrtle. El Myrto. Juan El. Shaun of, what is day? Oh, no, I can do this. Shut up. I can do this. Juan de El Myrto. I think that would be the title of our Spanish version of Shaun of the Dead. That was putting all of my brain cells.
Wouldn't it be Juan del Muerto? Muerte?
You might be right. Again, I don't.
Del is up there.
I'm just happy I got all the words.
Smoother than me, I think. I think you got it right.
4 years of Spanish, guys.
2 years, and the second year twice.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, half of I switched schools.
I used Google Translate for years, and she found out senior year, and I've never seen someone so disappointed in me in my whole entire life. She said, all I expected you to do was try. And she just walked away, and I was like, I felt terrible. She was such a nice woman. She was from Spain. We did not deserve her. Teaching at EV. Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's like, what'd you do to end up here, lady?
Yeah, what crimes?
You thought this was going to be beautiful? And, like, no.
And they treated her terrible in Spanish. It was a tragic story.
How, like, the school even survived after my class, 8 years or 4 years. Like,
yeah. Well, I just think it's just so much area, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I love the way they shoot this. They're on the other side of the fence. So to see over it, he walks up a kid's slide ladder to see if the coast is clear. And as he's walking up, the camera kind of sits in the one spot and it just shows him like proceed up and it's just on his feet at the top of it, and he just stands there for a beat, and it comes back down. Liz just asks, "So is the
coast clear?"
Yeah, is it clear? He says, "Nope." She asks, "How many?" He says, "Lots." So they make a plan to act like zombies.
Well, Di's like, "We're not going to get there by moaning." Or whatever.
Yeah, we're not going to get there by moaning about it. And he's like, well...
Wait a second.
It's actually quite an idea. So they make a plan to act like zombies and do a little rehearsal before they're going out. And this is where...
It's fun that Di gets to teach it.
Yeah.
She's the acting. So that comes back, which is really cool.
back.
And then my favorite little part in here is Barbara, when it's like, they're all doing their little zombie impressions, you know? And Barbara... And she's like, "Oh, great job." And she's like, "I was miles away." It's so fucking funny. That's like the funniest fucking great. Barbara moment of the whole entire thing.
And I love that Ed doesn't really have a good one. He's like, "I don't really want to do it." He's like, "Well, show me yours then." And then Shaun does it when it's really good. He's like, "Actually, that's pretty good." He's like, "Oh, take it." Mm-hmm.
Ed, I always think of Ed when it comes to procrastination, where he's like, "I'll do it on the night." And then Shaun's like, "It is the night."
Yeah, it's like happening right now, dude. I need you to do it. Like,
and it's like, "What made you king of zombies?" And then...
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'm like, I love all these little interactions. You know, what I mean?
It's so greatly done. I wonder if they were directed, do all those little things, or this just kind of natural to them, or is that the 15th take, or is that the 4th take?
Well, as far as I understand the lore with these guys, is they were on a show together.
Yeah, I was reading that a little bit.
Something with space in it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I assume, their chemistry's there. They've been making jokes and shit.
He actually got asked by Simon, like Frost, what is his name? Jack Frost or something?
Nick Frost.
Got asked by Simon to come on to act on that alien show or space show.
Oh, yeah.
And dude didn't even really have that much acting, but I guess Frost has the same chemistry on stage as Simon and Wright, the director, have off stage.
Oh, interesting.
And so they just all kind of blend in together really well. But Wright and Simon do the writing. It's kind
of a Larry David, George Costanza situation.
I would have to see more of them to be able to.
In Seinfeld, Larry David, George is a stand-in for Larry David. So like he's written as pretty much Larry David.
Who the fuck's Larry David?
He's the guy who created Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
So like George Costanza is literally Larry David as like his character, but not nobody I don't think really knew it at the time. So it's like a similar deal where Edgar Wright's George Costanza is Nick Frost, going with your analogy.
I get it now. Okay, I dig it. I mean, I've never really watched Seinfeld.
I'm not a huge Seinfeld guy. I like Larry David, I think, more than Seinfeld. Just like some of the little, like he choked out Elmo, which was fucking on Good Morning America or some shit. He just like ran up to the Elmo puppet while he was just doing something. Like with
and
the
Larry
actor.
David is the director?
What?
You said Larry David's who again?
The writer of Seinfeld.
Oh,
he's just like this funny little old guy though, and he also did Bernie Sanders for SNL, so he's like done a lot.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
He sounds just like him. I think they found out they were related too, like this.
Get out of here.
And yeah, the guy choked out Elmo, so I'm a hero as far as I'm concerned.
Fuck Elmo.
It was so funny though. He just out of nowhere, just like fucking.
Maybe the puppeteer is talking shit behind the mask.
Yeah, maybe there's beef from like the Seinfeld days. Like he's been waiting.
So they make the plan to act like zombies. They do a little rehearsal before going out. They have an awesome little scene. They're using the good old Walking Dead technique, minus all the blood and guts, so they got lucky. To stink up their everything. Cool
little transition where it's like when they're all about the practice, it just cuts to them doing it in the street.
Yeah, right.
Really cool.
I do like it just snaps right to it out there. So they make it across the street through all the zombies. If this was the apocalypse, or this was the zombie apocalypse, and they were all walkers like that, but people just got turned to a zombie because they're stupid, I would fucking love this. I'd give anything for this zombie apocalypse. We would
decimate these zombies, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're fucking slow. The only thing they got is they might be a little smart, but like even that, if they're literally just like... Yeah. That's like...
We're going to be way smarter than them, so it's fine.
Yeah, like I feel like even with a baseball bat, you would just fuck these dudes up.
Yeah,
like
we'd dominate.
You would have to be a pretty big twat to get fucking taken by these guys. They're not good zombies. They're not like World War Z is at the top of that tier.
It's mostly just people
28
not
days later.
paying the fucking attention. World War Z,
Those guys are OP, dude. Those
they
guys
are way OP.
Yeah, like
You're right.
you get infected in 10 seconds and you turn.
And they're like swarming over each other. That's just
Usain Bolt.
insane.
Yeah. I'm telling you, though, if the zombies were going to be real, though.
Oh, and then, wait.
that'd be the way
What
they
about
would-
the one with Will Smith?
I haven't seen it.
Bro, what do you watch all day?
I don't know. So it's YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, well, we need to get more movies under your belt. I guess I'm the fucking movie guy because I've seen
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the fucking movies.
Yeah.
I try to find a new movie all the time.
I've been watching too much Hoarders lately, you know?
Yeah, I watch a lot of Star Trek. I haven't been watching enough. You watch Hoarders?
Dude, it's fucking awesome. Hoarders is fucking
I mean, I do
awesome.
kind of like it
Dude,
too.
there's a woman who was like putting cats in freezers.
Yeah, somebody you talked to earlier tonight has a cat or two in their freezer.
That's insanity.
Our other friend has a couple too. It's a
Jesus.
thing.
It's
It's
not
a
not a normal thing. That's not a that's a psychological
Where do you think
issue.
he's gonna go? No.
Oh my god! Don't,
No,
you
I'll
turn
bury
it,
that
don't make a
motherfucker.
cat sickle.
No,
Don't make a cat
I
sickle.
bury cats.
And then there was another woman who would like piss his shit in bottles.
I saw that one.
Yeah. It was awesome. I love Hoarders, dude. Hoarders is fucking sweet.
Makes me like, I got my shit
It
together.
makes you
okay.
feel great. No, it's a great
Yeah.
dopamine hit. Like that and 600 Pound Life, like I feel amazing right now. Like my life choices, like all my stupid ones, like that's nothing. That's
Nothing.
I can still wipe my own ass and I can do jumping jacks in my room, so suck it.
I might get winded afterward, but I can do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it works. They get across the street. As they're getting up to the door, they're trying to figure out how to get inside because the door's locked. Just as Shaun is about to suggest that they go through the back door, fucking dumb shit David throws a brick or something through the fucking front glass windows, like a big glass pane, and it shatters it, compromising the whole fucking building.
But before that, Ed's cell phone goes off to...
Oh, yeah. So, I skipped that. So, Ed's, cell phone goes off. Eddie's all talking like there's nothing going on. Like, they didn't just
It's so funny. It's funny.
narrowly avoid it.
It's like
My actual
logically...
anger kicked in.
Logically, yeah. Like, logically, survivalist Xander's like, fuck this guy. But I'm like, oh, yeah, what's up, man? What's up, Noodle? Or whatever. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm not holding. Yeah, nothing really big going on. It's like the climax of this movie.
I got time, yeah.
It's just so fun. It's just Nick Frost. I think he destroys.
He kills it because like it actually kicked up like some anger and like actual anger in me.
And this is like the first time we see Shaun actually like roast Nick Frost. Like,
Yeah,
actually
he's
get
like
mad,
fucking had it at that point, and so nobody knows quite what to do. So fucking David. What did I call him? Dumb shit David? I like that.
Yeah.
He throws...
Dipshit.
Yeah, I think I have dumbass first, but David's dumbass. No, dumbass David. There we go. David's dumbass breaks the glass to the bar, compromising it. Shaun attracts all the zombies in the horde and leads them away so they won't follow them inside. And promises Liz that he'll be back. And as they're going inside, he leads them off, and his mother notices that there's some flowers right there outside the window next to the trash. And she's like, I think these are for me. Like after she checks the card real quick, which he must have put her name on there.
Well, I think it's from Shaun.
Well, yeah,
it's from Shaun. So.
Oh, from Shaun. Yeah,
So yeah, she's like, oh,
to the greatest mom from Shaun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she snatches those up, and they go inside while he's leading them off. Inside, David's trying to convince everyone that Shaun's worthless and that they shouldn't follow him. He's the one that got them all in this mess in the first place. And Liz just can't handle it no more. She tells him to shut the fuck up. They're going to barricade the window shut when Shaun gets back. And decides it's time for a drink, and so they head to the bar. Well, David thinks that's a ridiculous idea, starts tossing bags of snacks around like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to sit around here and get pissed drunk in a fucking bar when we should be handling other business. And as he chucks one of the bags of snacks, Shaun's hand, comes out of nowhere and catches it. Like a super badass thug. And he starts getting the rundown from Liz and the others, like, so what's the situation? Ask something, they fill him in. Ask another thing, they fill him in. Like, he's just head motherfucker in charge now.
And I think this is like a really good example of the differences in their like ideologies, where Shaun's like trying to take the situation as it is, and David's like, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And it's just like, David lives in a perfect world, so to speak, or he expects everything should work out perfectly, and it's like, that's just not how life works.
Yeah, I'm just playing it as it goes.
And two, Shaun's like, things aren't great, but and I think this is like shown with the food in a way where he throws that bag. He's like, this bag is pointless, useless, fuck this bag. Shaun catches it, and he's like, here, have some. You know what I mean?
And he's like, offers Liz some after, like, have some.
Yeah, so it's like taking the world as it is versus living in this little perfect fake ass world. You know what I mean? And again, that's a lot of life. A lot of life is just, shit happens and you got to make do.
Shit is always going to happen. It's how you react to that shit is what makes the difference.
And that's why David's a punk ass little bitch.
He is quite the punk ass. Bitch. They ask Shaun what's the plan. And it goes to them sitting and munching on snacks.
And that's exactly what David said. Like, what are we going to do? Sit in the dark and eat peanuts? That's literally what...
Yeah,
anybody want a peanut?
And then Shaun notices the streetlights are on. And so the grid must still be up. So the lights are off because a breaker must be flipped. So he'll just go in the back and flip the breakers real quick. So they get the TVs on and see what the fuck's going on. He's being warned to, not flip on everything by David so they don't, flip on the radio or too many lights to attract attention to themselves. He's like, I got it, David. It's not that hard. And so he goes to the back and, of course...
He realizes that he was followed.
Yeah.
These are all
so he goes in the back and he's flipping the breakers on and he's like, is that one good? And they're like, yep, we got it. So he flips one more just to kind of check what these other ones are, and he flips the outside light to the back door on and sees that the horde follow him back. So he flips it off real quick and just like, goes back out. And he's filling in Liz that we have a problem and that the herd followed him back, so they gotta be extra quiet. And Liz is like, yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. As soon as those words leave his mouth and she agrees, okay, we gotta be quiet. Ed had previously bummed a quid off of Liz and had wanted to go use it for the fucking arcade machine.
Huge fuck up.
It makes a shit ton of noise, and apparently he wins or something because it drops a bunch of coins. They go to unplug it. It's just like, are you fucking serious? It gave me another instance of actual anger. The flush of it going through me.
I love how angry you get with this.
I know. It's just a
so
fucking
funny to
movie.
me. Yeah.
But that's a testament to the acting and the writing and everything like that, because I genuinely get the fuck out of here.
That's wild. That's so funny to me because I'm like, I look at Ed as just, wow, I'm just having a great time with Ed. All of his Ed.
I'm having I was over. I'm having a great time, but
it's funny though. It's funny how that stresses you out. I'm like, oh, Ed's just gonna be Ed. Ed's just gonna do Ed things.
And so as soon as they get the fucking arcade machine game thing off, the fucking jukebox starts playing Queen. Their shout out, it's on random. That comes back again. Yeah. And the owner of the bar has come out of nowhere.
I know where he came from.
Where did he come from?
When Shaun goes to do the breakers in the back, you see his wife, not in the windows, but off to this little side hallway. So if his wife is back there, I assume that's where Big John comes from.
Oh, I thought he came from that door that was rattling that he tested out at first, but then he went further down the hall, flipped his breakers, and then the door at the end of the hall was to the outside. Remember that first door he rattles?
Yeah.
I thought it was from there.
I'm just going off that because the wife's there.
I don't see the wife in the hallway. What do you mean?
There's there's the panels right here, he's flipping the breakers or whatever.
Yeah.
He comes out and there's the wife is off to the left here for one.
Oh, so back inside the main bar area, not in the back hallway.
Well, she's in the back or whatever.
Oh.
So I assume John is somewhere
in the darkness there.
Yeah, because if the wife's there, then I assume John. That's where John.
And who was rattling on that door handle then? Just some random zombies?
Maybe.
I thought
you could be right. I don't know. I assumed the wife and the husband would be together.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
That's the only thing I could come up with. We don't really. I don't know if we see her pop up at any point, because that would be interesting. Because that would really tell us if they were together.
I imagine they were.
Yeah, but I thought because I
don't see
wondered,
her die, do we? We don't see her get blown up or die or nothing, do we? I don't think so. We just see
Big John get
it's
beaten.
It's like a boss fight.
Yeah,
just
and this is another one of those record moments where it's does it make sense? Probably not, but it's a great time. It's a great time. Yeah. I don't care. I'll allow it. The Supreme Court of Williams says it's cool.
I concur with the Supreme Court of Williams ruling. So the owner comes out of nowhere and they arm themselves with pool cues and they proceed to beat him down like he's getting jumped into a gang or something. They can't get the music to stop, so David makes the situation even worse by flipping fuses in the back.
To the beat of the song.
And making a light show to the
Again, doesn't
beat
make
of the song.
sense, but goddamn it.
It kind of makes sense that him being back there
fun...
stupid trying to flip off the breaker to the jukebox because they can't unplug it, I guess. They can unplug the video game machine, but they couldn't unplug the fucking jukebox.
Weird call. But again, I'm having a great time. It's a fun visual. It's a fun...
It's so... Who is it? Oh, okay, so... Ed, Liz, and Shaun are all beating the fuck out of the owner with pool cues. Di tosses a dart, misses him, then tosses another one, hits Shaun in the head, which is like, that could fuck some shit up bad. Like, that, those things go in about an inch or two. Like,
they hit him in the brain, bro.
Yeah, he definitely, like, lost how tulips smell or something. Like, how butter tastes or something, because that hit something. Somehow he recovers, pulls it out of his head, like, shove off the zombie owner. He pulls the fucking spike out of his head, and Ed tosses him that gun, the Winchester, that's above the bar. You know, it's been gagged the whole time that it doesn't really work. Who said it does?
Big Al.
Big Al says it does. I'm gonna start going by Big Al again. Fuck it. So Shaun gets it and uses the butt of the gun to knock in the owner's head. Ed's like, why did you just shoot it? And Shaun's like, it doesn't work. And as soon as those words leave his lips, bam, the gun goes off. And Ed's like, fucking knew it. Big Al was right. He's like, yeah, but dogs can look up, but I'll give him the other one.
There's definitely a logical fallacy somewhere in there about Big Al. Like, just because he's right about this thing doesn't mean he's right about that thing.
Yeah.
But I still love just Big Al existing. And we never see him. Great. Love it. I wish more movies should do that, where there's just people who are just not in this movie what we talk about.
Barb is in, like, kind of back away from the group, tripping, and Liz takes her away to talk with her. Barb going to give her necklace that Shaun's actual father gave her. She felt it was the right thing to do, even though she's Liz is like, I can't accept this. We're not really together anymore. You know, talking too fast for Barb to even really give a fuck what she's saying. Trying to give her this gift because she knows that she's been bitten. He finds out his mom's been bitten. The gun gets, like, passed off from Shaun to Ed, and Ed to David when Shaun originally goes to check on his mom. And then, so as soon as he finds out his mom's been bitten, fucking David's bitch ass comes out of nowhere and starts pointing the gun at Ed's mom, or at Shaun's mom. He's like, well, you know, your mom's gonna turn, I'm gonna shoot her, all that shit. He's like, back the fuck up off my mom. Breaks a beer glass and puts it in his face, like, just back the fuck up, chill out. And then Diana breaks the glass and put it next to Shaun's neck, and then Ed gets something and puts it towards David's neck.
Which is just a funny Mexican standoff.
Yeah, it's a funny Mexican standoff, just like, alright, everyone's fucked. And then, I don't know, Shaun replaces his with his bottle with a corkscrew.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's big standoff, and then...
And just, like, it shows David zero perception because, like, he's not wrong.
He's
objectively right, but,
but like, there's a time place. Just chill a fucking second. You're gonna die from the zombies out the door or from fucking, you know,
why don't you
on the inside. Just let him have a fucking moment.
It's like the worst. It's like, again, that's like the problem with David is he's almost like a computer. Like, he doesn't. I have this emotion. I just need to register it now. Like, he doesn't understand how he has no, like, empathy or some shit going on here. You know. Where he doesn't understand, like, oh, maybe I should wait a minute before I just fucking...
Oh, it's just all about him, really, you know, in his mind of things.
Trying to impress Froizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it even goes into that with this, where he's like, my feelings about you, Lizzie. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about right now, dude? There's way bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, Shaun trips, and during the standoff, and with everyone holding sharp objects at each other's throat, there's a bunch of drama about how David is in love with Liz, and Diana... It's like, yeah, I know.
Which is sad. Just don't ever do this to yourself, guys.
It's so terrible.
Like, if you're not going to be the one in the beginning, you're not going to
get out. The sooner the better, so you can move on, and both can move on and grow past experiences that y'all shared. Just fucking get over it and move on as quick as possible. Easier said than done, I know. Trust me, I know. But once you're over it, it's over. It's not better. It's great. Eventually, David says something real dumb, and Shaun just clocks him and knocks him the fuck out. David tries to shoot Shaun, but the gun doesn't fucking go off.
Before that, though, doesn't Shaun kill his mom? Isn't that... No, yeah, that's what happens. Shaun kills his mom, and then...
Oh, yeah, they have Shaun do it. Yeah.
That's like David's such a little weasel.
Oh, yeah.
Where he should have done it.
He's like, you do it, and then Shaun kills his mom.
But it's
and
just
then
like...
passes the gun back to David or something, then David says something fucking snarky and stupid.
Yeah.
And then Shaun clocks him, then David tries to shoot him.
But that's just how shitty David is, though, because he's all gung-ho about shooting Shaun's mom, and then he doesn't even do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's even weaselier. You know, he makes him do it.
It just shows how hardcore fucking our man Shaun is.
But how shitty little David is. He should have done that. He should have volunteered to be like, oh, you shouldn't have to do that to your own mom.
He's like, I got you, man. I'll handle this for you, dude.
But he's like, no, you do it. That's literally what he says. No, you do it.
Yeah, 'cause he's a bitch.
Fuck David.
Fuck David. David tries to shoot
Shaun,
and the gun was empty, so it's a super dick move. And then David tries to stall, does a little hissy fit, and like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. He's like going straight to the door with all the zombies outside. D goes to stop him from opening the door, but the zombies just end up busting through the fucking glass anyway and snatch up David. Woohoo! Get him. And Diane just goes on like a suicide rescue mission with a leg.
I expected more from Diane. I thought she was,
spoiler alert, I thought she was going to come back. She didn't.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to turn up at the very end like, I made a guy like, tried to get him, but he got eaten, but I'm still alive.
I just didn't expect her to like throw her life away from
her.
Especially because she knows.
Again, don't do this either, people.
This poor woman must be
If someone
so
doesn't love you like that,
you should not be going out into a zombie horde.
You should be protecting yourself so you can try to get yourself some real lovins some other time down the road by some other survivor.
But, you should, poor Diane. Just all across the board.
Mm-hmm. The poor lady. She failed actress.
Failed actress.
But she has such passion for it and charisma.
She seemed nice.
She seemed great. She could have taught acting at some high school or something. It'd been fun.
Oh, we forgot about the part. Like, David had suicide. And then, like, what do you call it? Ed's like, you should go.
Oh, yeah. He encourages the suicidal play that David's trying to pull. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, Wiz is like, it's suicide. And then, yeah, you should go. I think it'd be good for you. It's just so fucking... Dude, I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah.
Ed's the MVP.
He really is.
I swear to God, when you come in here with that fucking Simon Pegg bullshit. He's like, I've quoted Ed like 15 times. He's just everything.
He's got all the one-liners.
They're so good, though. You know what I mean? He just kills it.
All right, so the door to the outside is open because, David walked out and she ran out there with him. And so zombies are pouring in. They're all fighting them off, and Ed's making a Molotov. Ed notices Pete coming through the door and is like laughing at, hey, check it out. It's Pete. He made it to the bar. And as he's fucking around with Pete and like trying to keep Pete from biting him, some other zombie comes up and bites Ed right there on the neck. Real bad, like, and he's trying to hold off Zombie Pete.
Pete's a fucking brick of a man.
Yeah, he seems jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked and he's really tall. Yeah.
As Pete's eating up Ed, Liz and Shaun leap behind the bar, and then shortly after Ed gets away and jumps back there with them.
They kill Pete at some point. Pete gets shot.
Does Pete get shot?
Yeah, it's zombie Pete.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they shot him or not.
I used it for a clip for my Shazam thing. So
nice. Yeah. So they jump behind the bar, and Shaun grabs a bottle of something, pours all over the bar, and lights it on fire to help, create a barrier.
Burning all of his bullets.
So
also, this made me think: would Ed be the better shot, and Shaun would have been the better driver? Like if they would have switched.
Well, Shaun was a horrible shot.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if Ed would have been the shot and he would have been the driver, that would have been much better use of their skills, probably.
Probably. But we'll never know.
But yeah, lighting all your bullets on fire, what a fucking rookie move, bro.
They're back there behind the bar and they find a trap door underneath the rug that's behind the bar. Hang on a second. God damn it, cat!
I like how he runs. He just runs,
Oh, so they find this trapdoor underneath the rug behind the bar, and they go down into, like, the little beer cellar.
Is it a dick move to just leave Ed up there? Like, we know he's gonna... I would have been like, hey, man, love you. But you're gonna turn into a zombie. So if you just want to stay... here while we try to figure out how to get out and live our lives. Like, I love you, bro.
I think they all just kind of leapt down there and forced a habit. It's like, oh, we gotta save our friend, and we'll figure that out later because they brought him.
I think I would have had that.
For us, yeah, that motherfucker ain't coming down.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm sorry.
If it was me, I'd be like, bro, I'll lay on over the trapdoor, so hopefully they'll just be eating me, and I think about trying to come down.
Yeah,
or something. Try to use my death for something.
He's like, Ed's a big dude. Ed would be a scary zombie. So like.
Wouldn't be pleasant, no. So, they're all down in the cellar. Shaun's tripping, feeling responsible for everyone dying, and it's his fault. He could have done better, this and that. Liz is kind of there and reassuring him, like, hey, at least you did something.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else is doing shit, and you took the leads. And
at least you tried, man.
Yeah, you tried. We got farther than anybody else.
Look at everybody else.
Well, we could have, maybe just hunkered down in the apartment and everything would have been fine. Like, who knows? We're here now. Fuck it.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Mm-hmm. She asked about the gun. He's like, I only got 2 shots left. And think about using them on ourselves. And so they're like trying to figure out the logistics of who dies first and kill that. He's like, Ed said that he wouldn't mind just being eaten, so like they don't have to worry about the third bullet that they don't have. They're just like, I'll just get eaten. So good on him. That's awesome. Good friend.
A good friend would have stayed upstairs.
That's true. But the good friend also is like, don't worry, I don't need a bullet. I'll just get eaten. Until they start all talking lovey-dovey, and he's like, okay, maybe on second thought, I'll take that bullet. That's what I thought was awesome. Liz whips out like a pack of smokes, and he's like, I'll tell you quit. And she's like, well, we got a decent time to be smoking right now. We're all about to die. And Shaun looks over, notices that there's like a lift that they can use to get themselves out through the sidewalk opening. He goes to talk to Ed, but Ed wants left behind because he's all fucked up and he knows he's not going to make it. Good man. He pulls the whole I'm sorry trick on him again. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, for what? He's like, no, I'm sorry. He's just like sitting there confused for a second. Shaun's just like, what? Oh, gosh damn it. He got me again.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, he says, I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing. He says that in the beginning of the movie, he says it again now. It's just fucking beautiful. Love it. And Shaun gives him a smoke and they leave him down there. So it shows them getting up on the... What?
The most badass romantic line throughout all of these movies so far. You don't want to die single, do you? When she's like, why do you think I took you back? Or whatever.
She's like... What do you mean? We or us leaving? He's like, what makes you think I took you back? And he's like, oh, you don't want to die single, do you?
And I'm like, that's such a good one-liner thrown right back. Great.
Can't argue with that, baby.
It's so funny. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's like, just fantastic.
I think that this whole movie should be called Fantastic instead of Shaun of the Dead. She's armed with the gat, and he's armed with an axe, and they ascend through the lift up to the sidewalk. And we're like, when they're ready up together, looking at each other, like, all right, let's do this. Get ready to start going ham. The military biohazard boys pull up and start blasting all the zombies, mowing them down in the street.
And there's just no way that any army is going to get their ass kicked by these zombies.
No way.
Their KDs are going to be like hundreds. Like there's no way they. Like that's what makes these zombies punk ass zombies to me. Or I'm like 28 days later, you can see how that could go down. But like these guys,
yeah, you see how that goes down for sure.
Like these guys,
The Walking Dead, I can't see how that goes down. So
yeah, just like come on. I always like
Night of the Living Dead. Maybe back in those days, yeah.
Because
people are cut off and they're all probably gonna try to like, hey, what's the matter, Mister? Yeah, but not in this.
I like the voodoo zombies where they bring back like all dead people because that makes a lot of sense because there's like 100 billion dead dudes. So like that, we're already outnumbered 100 to 8. So even if they are slow as shit, they're fucking everywhere.
True.
We don't get enough voodoo zombies, guys.
Or like enough paranormal zombies where they come out of the graves and shit. It's all infection zombies now, which I don't mind.
I think that'd be cool. I think there should be more stories with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I love zombie stories of all kinds and shapes and sizes. And so after the military's done mowing all down, who comes up with a golf club, taking out a couple of leftover zombies? Then Yvonne again.
Yeah, Yvonne.
And basically just like, I told him to come get you because, you said you guys were coming here. Weird that she's still trying to get that.
It's just Yvonne. I'm taking points off for Yvonne because I don't feel like she was utilized. She's weird. She's a very weird inclusion in this movie.
I just want to know her motivation.
Yeah.
Do they have some sort of history or no history and she just wanted some? There could have been a little scene showing their level of love or commitment to each other.
It's almost like a weird Starship Trooper thing where there's like a quad love square, but like we never really get the pilot on her side, like the deck one. It's like a half-baked.
Yeah, it's like everything else is so well interwoven and plays off itself for each other and everything. Doesn't... Like, where's this?
Like, we could have used all the Yvonne screen time for Liz and Shaun's relation because we still don't really understand that. We have a very basic understanding. Yeah. Again, I think Liz should have been like a corporate thing or something where he's stuck working this bullshit retail job or just something.
Anything.
Yeah, just anything.
She could have been instead of Liz, somebody actually from that front desk company that he's like had to avoid this whole time, like reluctantly being nice to her just because she's actually at the house for him. But there's just nothing, any sort of association whatsoever between the two, and it does kind of fall flat, and makes kind of a hole in the story.
Like, that would have been really cool where it's like maybe she...
Unless we're totally missing something.
I don't think we are. I don't think we are. I just think Liz we should have had a more developed Liz. And
sure.
Yvonne, I don't know what you do with Yvonne. I think you get rid of Yvonne. if she's not going to be the romantic. Because you don't do anything with her. Like, she shows up at the end, but like it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really come back. Like, it's just weird. Yvonne's weird. Yvonne's a very. I guess she's the one who probably told the military to go to the Winchester.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
but
because she's all about Shaun for whatever reason we don't know.
Yeah,
and wants to go save him even though he's with his bitch.
And like Yvonne they never get together. So it's just weird. Yvonne's weird, man. Yvonne's just nothing happens.
Yeah, and even at the end, they're like, Shaun and Liz are holding hands, and they're all lovey-dovey. And I guess that's pretty much it for that scene. Goes to Liz on the couch at Shaun's place.
And we get another fake out.
Yeah, and then he's walking up like he's a fucking zombie again, like in the beginning. And we find out she's listening to the TV that it's been over 6 months since the zombie outbreak. They got zombies doing menial labor now, getting grocery carts of shit.
All this TV stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
This whole little section is like, I could watch this. It's like an interdimensional cable, but for zombies. I could watch that all day. I think and the fact that we get so little of it, I think is exactly right. Like, it leaves you hungry.
A little taste of it, and they show you. Yeah, it's there.
And it's just like, and they do it, and they like every one of these little channels is like so. Like, we get a little documentary about the news reporter talking about like, I never thought I would have to say that on TV, and then we get the Tyra Banks, Maury show of like, I sleep with him, I do this.
You can't divorce him yet. And you have the game shows like a Japanese game, competition shows,
and I'm like, this is everything I could have ever wanted from this section. Like, this is fucking awesome. This is like the coolest fucking part of this movie to me, honestly.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite little parts.
It's just like, what would society do with zombies? And it's right there for you,
It shows Shaun, walking up like a zombie, but he sits down with Liz on the couch, and they kind of make a plan for the day, and she's telling him, like, what her plan is, and it sounds pretty fucking chill for the day.
Yeah.
And they're going to end up at the Winchester.
It would have been nice if it would have been, like, their normal day, but we got to catch a flight.
Why?
Because it would be like they're doing something big. You know what I mean?
Like they just did something big by like surviving a zombie apocalypse together. So now they can go back to the chilling, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Where they had an adventure in Greece, and then they, got bored and chill. So now they had the zombie apocalypse adventure, and now they are gonna chill for a while, and then she'll probably get bored again, and something else is gonna happen.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right.
I'm saying I'm right or anything. That's how I see it.
I think a little thematic. I think it would have been nice if it was like normal, boring day. Then we got to catch our flight to something.
It's setting up that they're going to go on another adventure, but it hasn't been enough chill. I guess it's been 6 months.
Yeah, it's been 6 months.
Yep. Okay.
And I think thematically it makes sense because they were stuck at the Winchester, and then at the end for them going back to the Winchester, just feels a little weird.
We wanted to get away from that, but we had the zombie apocalypse in the fucking Winchester. Now we are gonna go back and hang out there. Which, I mean, that would be the most epic spot you'd ever want to be, though. Like, I was planning on dying right here a few months ago, and now I'm like getting to chill and have a beer again.
Yeah,
life's back to normal.
I just think thematically it's a little weak.
So it goes to Shaun, before she's gonna make a cup of tea for them both, and Shaun's like, I'm gonna go out in the yard for a bit, but really he's just going out of the backyard, and in the little shed that they replaced the door to, they got Ed all chained up back there. He's playing a game, and he sits down next to Ed, and Ed leads in trying to bite him. He's like, hey, knock it off, and he's like, oh, my bad, and stops, and then
player
go back
2 has entered the game.
Yeah, player 2 starts playing the game with Ed and Zombie Ed, and that's the end.
And again, we had that player 2 entered the game earlier when he
when he started when he was on the couch just playing games when he woke up. Yep. But he had to go to fucking work.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the movie?
It's a favorite of mine. I really I have nothing but love and admiration. I do have some little problems here, with Yvonne. The whole time thing I think could have been done a little bit better. I talked about that.
Yeah, I think overall it's a great movie. I feel like it's the foundation that they made for Hot Fuzz is perfection. It got close, but not quite. A few of the spots like Yvonne. Yeah, basically just Yvonne kind of killed it. I don't know of any flaw at all in Hot Fuzz, but that Yvonne thing just kind of doesn't add up or bode well with me. most valuable performance. I've changed up the titles of these. Like, we're calling performances. So, like, most valuable performance, least valuable performance, and any hidden gems or noteworthy characters.
Like side actor.
Or performances.
This new side actor equivalent?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I think it's Nick Frost.
Yeah, for sure.
I quoted Ed so many times throughout this podcast.
Mm-hmm. He's the biggest shout out. He just made the whole fucking movie. I know he wasn't the main actor, the protagonist by any means, but he's actually, if anything, the antagonist half the time.
Yeah.
Other than the zombies, but I think he just really makes the movie. Side character, hidden gem, hidden performance.
I think it's the mom. I just kind of really like her.
Space cadet.
Her space cadet, being miles away, all of her little scenes, like, hello, Pickle, her snap at Shaun. I don't know, I just think she kind of killed it, whatever they needed her to do.
So, our MVP is...
Nick Frost.
Our least valuable is who?
I don't know what the least valuable is. I think that's a mean award to give someone.
Yeah, I don't want to use that word.
I think, that might have been there for...
MVP, hidden gem,
Yeah, I said the bomb. Do you have a different hidden gem?
The dad is pretty great. I'd say his performance was quite noteworthy. It made you feel some type of way, and he just played the kind of, I'm a dick dad, but then it came out to why, and it was kind of nice. So I'm going to say Philip, another noteworthy performance. Any favorite quotes?
Win.
Win's my favorite one for sure.
Yeah.
That is really, it's like a slap in the face. There's a few others like, no, Shaun, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
So our rating is, what do you give it for rating?
I give it a 92.
92.
I knocked it off for Yvonne, the time thing, when I think could have done a little bit better than the red joke.
I want to give it like an 89 because it's right there. It just kind of does fall the Yvonne thing real hard. The whole Yvonne thing, and like how there could have been a few different scenes in there that help explain what the fuck their previous history was, and maybe actually made us care. What are we doing next week?
Truman Show. Truman Show, right? Yeah.
Truman Show, requested by Becker, good friend of mine from way back in the day. I haven't seen him in almost 15 years or so. It's crazy, since high school. That's going to be a good one. Truman Show is awesome. It's going to get into that. But another episode done. I think I shut the fuck up this round.
Yeah, I think you did a lot better.
I did a lot better.
I think our audio is going to be the best it's ever been.
Even though I did get cut off at some point for a few minutes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I think our conversation is better. It's a lot more chill, just like subtle vibe. Not all amped up on alcohols and other dumb shit.
Yeah.
So I think this is all for the best. I'm liking it. Next time I'll be definitely rested. I'm going to try my best for it. Just like my schedule's all fucked up from, working at the bar and all that shit, so it just sucks.
Yeah.
But working on it. And also I like to game, so then I sleep in, but then I wake up early, so I don't know. Sleep schedule's fucked. So that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Right on. We fucking did.
Juan of the Dead. Juan of